Yes, people, we are live. I love that intro, man.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Welcome. Big up, Daniel Knight. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Blues, featuring me, Matt from the Stamford Sink, and Kai from behind the Dugouts. Kai, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Ready for another episode of the Friday Night Blues and what has been a pretty good week.
I
So,
think
yeah, I'm
it's been
positive.
it's been reasonably good week after good week
Yeah.
since Liam took over, in it. To be honest, like
Yeah, it's not been too
not
bad.
not going to get too excited. Obviously, it will be what it will be. The thing is, when you go on a run like we've been on, a loss is coming, and that's the thing,
Yeah.
because it's like statistically, do you know what I mean? Just literally
Yeah,
statistically,
yeah.
you are unlikely to just carry on winning. But I don't think that, I think that worst case scenario, that's the Arsenal game, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Daniel starting strong. I don't want to spend lots more on Jacquet. I rather recall Sarr. I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. I think the answer to the question is probably both of those things are going to happen. Maybe not in January, but long term, I do think that's what's going to happen. So we are going to talk transfers. We're going to get into the transfer stuff, because there is lots of rumblings, right? There's stuff going on. There's stuff happening, but it's just, yes, Blues and Stripes.
Big
Welcome,
up,
Mason.
man.
Good to see you, man. Up the Chelsea. Right, so we're going to start, because I like to do this, especially after a lovely win like it was. We're going to talk about the Napoli game to begin with, and we're just going to kind of pull it apart a little bit. Devin, welcome. Missed the intro song. No point in life anymore. Oh, it's cool, man.
I
You
agree,
can
Devin. I agree.
maybe I'll
Can't
upload.
miss it.
I'll upload it just as like a separate video or something. Do you know what I mean? So you can
Do a
just
little
listen to it
playlist,
whenever
mate.
you want. That's my lovely singing voice at the end as well, going Friday Night Blues. Yeah, mate. So football, right? Because that's what we're doing, isn't it? Football. Napoli, man. So Napoli, what a game, man. What a game. It wasn't an amazing game to watch throughout, but in retrospect, it was a brilliant game, because it had everything. It had ups, it had downs, it had goals galore, it had tactical mishaps, and it had beautiful, beautiful moments. So I know you did your review and stuff, man, but talk me through the Napoli game a bit. Tell me what you think and how you're feeling after that performance.
Yeah, man. Like you said, it was a roller coaster, wasn't it? It was a roller coaster. Got gifted a pen. Clear pen, no arguments on it. I mean, the
No.
geezer had his arm, he was raising his arm up and decided to throw it down.
Yeah,
Clear pen.
yeah, definitely.
And then after that, that first half, it was tough, man. Probably one of the worst, I'd say, performances wise. And I don't think it was too much down to the players itself. I just think we looked so disorganized. It just
Yeah,
looked so lopsided.
yeah.
And
I mean, it
I
was, and
point
there's
to I can point to
and it-
one thing as to why, but it's crazy that just having just one natural centre back could
oh, mate.
lopside it and disorganise it so much. It
Yeah.
was crazy. But before we dive too deep into it, and I see Daniel Knight's in there because I mentioned this in my review, Lukaku, eat
Yeah.
your heart out, mate. He even had a
Oh,
chance right at the end of the game as well, didn't he?
oh, Bobby, mate,
Sanchez.
Bobby Sanchez
Oh,
bailed us out of that one, didn't he?
exactly.
But yeah, oh, mate, and the thing is, that would have spoiled it so much as well, because it
Yeah.
wouldn't have just been a draw then. Do you know what I mean? There'd have been narrative
It would have
behind
been
it.
pain.
Conte and Lukaku hold
Yeah.
the Blues. Do you know what I mean? And that would have kept them in the Champions League for the season,
Yeah.
and not kept us. Do you know what I mean? So that was such a massive save from Bobby Sanchez, man. Massive save from Bobby
100%.
Sanchez. But yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. Like, obviously, the thing is, up until the penalty as well, I genuinely felt this is the first time I'd sort of seen a bit of life in the team, even after the first, sort of 4 games. It's been very much like not huge, really confident, and obviously still figuring stuff out. But like the passing, and there was a bit of swagger and a bit of swashbuckle to
Yeah.
our game. So I'm hoping we see more of that going forward. But yeah, then obviously, after the penalty, Napoli just went, "Oh, hold on a second, we need to play this game in order to
Yeah.
stay in the Champions League."
We need to actually do something. And of course, it's going to be a freaking Man United player to score as well, wouldn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the first goal was unreal. I
Mate,
mean, he just walked
Vergara,
through that defence.
what's he like?
Ridiculous.
18, 19-year-old lad from Naples. Do you know what I mean? So he was literally in his own backyard scoring
Yeah.
against Chelsea in the Champions League. That's a massive night for him. That's a 100 mil player waiting to happen, I
Oh, yeah.
think.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm surprised we
know.
haven't been linked with him already,
Yeah.
to be honest.
His stock shot up after that goal. He went from
Yeah,
20 million
yeah.
to about 90.
And do you know what I noticed throughout the game as well? Vergara in particular, so much bite and personality, man. Do you know what I mean? He was really
Yeah.
like aggressive, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, really good player. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Hoyland's goal was great. Do you know what I mean? It was
Straight
simple,
across the
but
centre back. Yeah.
just cut through us, man. Absolutely cut through us. And
Yeah.
we have been crying out for goals like that. Do you know what I mean? Where the cross has come in, the striker has had the instinct to be on the end of it. Now, our own striker did pretty well in that game.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But before we get into that, because that is obviously like, that's the best part of the game for sure with João Pedro's performance. I want to talk a little bit about Cole Palmer. So I think it was an unassuming performance from Cole Palmer because he didn't look amazing, but he got the job done, didn't he? And that's really, really important, I think. What do you
Yeah,
reckon?
it's a simple fact. The guy come on half fit,
Yeah.
not match fit,
No.
and he's picked up 2 assists because he can see things. He can understand the movements better than any other player on that pitch. You can
Yeah.
see the difference. I mean, Esteval has his moments, but for me, I do prefer him out on the wing. I think
Yeah.
he looks the most threatening out on the wing. But with Palmer in the centre, you just know. And we've been talking about this for ages. And are we going to see a better João Pedro with Cole Palmer? And I know we had Cole Palmer come back under Maresca, but
Yeah.
Maresca was sort of part of the reasons why some of these players were struggling potentially.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at them now, and it's funny enough, João Pedro's firing. Cole Palmer gets back into the team, 2 assists?
Yeah.
But
I think
with the same...
it's a crazy one, man. I think that what I think we're seeing is the result of a manager like Pep who isn't good enough, right? When you're just system, be here, make this thing. Like he kind of took away the majority of the decision making ability from our most creative players. Do you know what I mean? That's why even when he was fit, we weren't seeing as much from Cole Palmer unless he decided to take the game by the scruff of the neck. João Pedro started amazingly when there was very little coaching going on, but as soon as he comes in and gets coached by Maresca, we kind of lose a bit of that. Do you know what I mean? So I think what I'm liking about Liam Rosinia in this respect so far is I think he's really going to benefit some of these players like João Pedro and like Cole Palmer, who he knows have this ability to do something and make something happen, and he will trust them to do so in certain moments, won't it? So the formation and the tactics, I think, will be more of a guideline than a structure. Do you know what I mean? So what we've seen from Maresca is very much like, for instance, he came out and said it about the goalkeeper and kicks, didn't he? It's like if you play it long, you're out of the team. Do you know what I mean? That's how wedded to his tactical philosophy Enzo Maresca was. But with Liam Rosinia, I think their ultimate stylistic foundation is similar, but I think Liam Rosinia, he's a people person, isn't he? That's the thing, is he's putting the people first. I think that's the first reason that we're getting results, by the way, because we haven't looked unbelievable in any of these games yet. We look really good at the end of the Napoli game, obviously, but in
there's
general,
a bit of fight.
Yeah.
There's a bit of fight. There's a bit of grit about them, especially in that Napoli game. Something that I've missed. I can't remember the last time I saw a bit of bite about them. Maybe the Arsenal game under Maresca. There was down to 10 minutes, but that's against Arsenal. So
the event, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Is like they played the event, and there was more reason then. But I think that's a really good thing that we're seeing from Rosinia.
But a lot of it's coming through, and one player in particular, and we'll talk about him a bit more further on, is Santos. The amount of balls that he plays through the lines into the striker is ridiculous. But it's what we've been missing, because if the striker's not in that position, Cole Palmer will be, and we want him picking up the ball in those kind of areas. And that is the biggest change I've seen. Like, massive amounts coming through. Every time he's picking up the ball on the turn, he's straight looking through that middle. Can he break the lines? Just me. Looks like Matt froze. Right. Well, it's just me, guys. How do you feel about the game? How do you think it went? Can I? Oh, I can't bring up the comments. Oh, that's only Matt. I can read them. Blues and Stripes. I still remember Palmer's quote after the Conference League final about being sick of side to side passing. Yeah. I mean, I think that was the game that he came out and said, he was tired of what was going on, and he just wanted to take it by the scruff of the neck. I'm pretty sure was the Conference League final.
Right.
And
So
yeah, I
sorry,
mean, he
I
absolutely
actually
tore him
just
up.
froze, I think, for a second there, and I've just come back. So I've
Yeah,
just missed like the last 15 seconds. But I'm going to quickly bring up this quote here, and
yeah,
we
that's
can
the
talk
one I was
about
just
it.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, I still remember Palmer's quote after the Conference League final about being sick of the passing side to side. Perfect example of what you're saying about Maresca. So me and Kai looked really in depth into this with the with that
quite a while
zone of
back, wasn't it?
domination thing, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
literally, it was like a smile, man. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like a
mm,
smile, and we just made absolutely no use of the center of the pitch at all. And it was an absolute nightmare. Do you know what I mean? It was an absolute nightmare because it was just like it was so predictable and it was boring, and we played into everyone's hands, and we allowed the
yeah,
likes of Leeds to absolutely walk over us. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Interesting one from Daniel as well. What's happened to Neto? He's been awful. Where's his form? So this
yeah.
is what do you think about this, Kai? Do you think that this, as much as we can talk about Liam Rosinia's been really good for Cole Palmer and Esteban Willian and João Pedro and stuff, do you think Neto's poor form is a result of Rosinia, or do you think there's something else going on?
It's tough because players are always going to have a dip at some point in the
Hmm.
season. Neto's probably been one of our best attackers so far this season, but like Daniel Knight saying, I have to agree. The last 6 games, he's
Yeah,
been pretty poor.
yeah.
And is he going through a dip, or there are sacrificial lambs when people come in? You know, not everybody is going to be elevated. There are going to be some players that get left behind. Time will tell. Give it another
Yeah,
4 or 5 games. If he's
yeah,
still
yeah.
underperforming, then maybe you could look at it and go,
I mean, the
maybe it's
question
not going to
is
work.
he going to get the next 4 or 5 games? That's the question, because Liam Rosinia seems to quite like Jamie Gittins, for instance. Jamie Gittins is
Yeah,
getting a lot more game time since Liam
yeah,
Rosinia's come in. Garnacho is obviously getting opportunities and moments and stuff as well. Esteval is getting a lot of chances. He likes Cole Palmer on the right. Enzo Fernandez seems to be playing quite a lot in the middle. And
mm,
if anything, it's almost like I can see Pedro Neto almost being sacrificed for Andre Santos. Do you know what I mean? Because bringing Andre
yeah,
Santos into the midfield means we're going to probably put Enzo Fernandez as the 10 a little bit more. Let's see what Mason's saying about Neto. I typically defend Neto because I
yeah,
personally like his work ethic on and off the ball, but the past 2 matches he's not even had that. Yeah, I've been a
yeah,
huge backer of Pedro Neto because I don't think you need to be. We don't. Everyone doesn't need to be Esteval Willian and Cole Palmer. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? For instance, Willian. Do you know what I mean? The old Brazilian Willian that we had back in the day. He was not, apart from that one season where he was scoring free kicks for fun. He was not a really fun player to watch attacking wise. Like, he was a very industrious player, but he was so important to the team. And I think Pedro Neto for me was similar to that. Do you know what I mean? Not. I would say that Pedro Neto's got a lot more attacking impetus than the old Willian did. But at the same time, I saw Pedro Neto as that industrious player who makes the system tick. But you're right, he's not even doing that at the moment, is he? So I think
no, he's definitely
you know,
dropped off.
yeah, and long term, obviously, it's a little bit far ahead. But Giovanni Quenda's coming in at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I remember saying this before. It's like Pedro Neto is probably going to be the one who gets sold because
Yeah,
he's not a left winger. I think we need to try and abandon this left-footed left wing experiment, don't we? Because it just doesn't seem to be kind of paying dividends at the end of the day. Although Neto has played well a few times. But yeah, I do fear a little bit that Pedro Neto is probably going to be the one that gets sold, and that will again massively lower the average age of the team.
yes.
So
Yeah, it is a tough one.
yeah, man, definitely. So we'll come back to it all a little bit later. Daniel's saying the January transfer window shuts on Monday at 7 o'clock. So we're going to talk a little bit about transfers, right? Because there's not been a huge amount going on, but there is stuff going on. So first and foremost, Raheem Sterling is gone.
Yay.
So this is a really, really complicated one, man. I've done a couple of bits and videos about it recently. A lot of people Chelsea fans have been of the bit like saying, why didn't you just keep him? Because why do you not just try and do something with him or
Yeah.
let him right in the bomb squad or whatever? Why have we spent essentially 10 to 22 mil based on
Mm.
however much of his wages he will have agreed to have taken to get rid of him? So what do you think about the Raheem Sterling situation?
I think this is and it was kind of said it was done by a mutual agreement. I think he sitting at table will go, look, I'm quite happy to sit here for the remainder of my contract and
Yeah.
see it out.
Mm.
The board obviously don't want that because they
No.
don't want to be paying a player for nothing. And yes, they have paid a fee now to get rid of him, but it's also no club could afford to obviously give him probably the wages that he's looking for. I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to be looking for that 300k, but he's going to be looking for at least a decent chunk, maybe 200k, something
100,
like that.
150
Couldn't
minimum.
afford that,
Yeah.
as well as trying to purchase him. So they
Yeah.
probably looked at it going, look, what can we do here to get you gone so you can go find somewhere to go play some football, and we're not going to have to pay you for the next however many years of your contract to get it all out. And I think they've come to that agreement, however much it was it like 14 something million, so it was like half of it or something. I'm not 100% sure on the
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah, I haven't seen the figure. So he was
But
owed 22 essentially. But
yeah,
what? So this is the thing, right? What this pertains to, and I don't know how much you know about it. The main reason we've paid to get rid of Raheem Sterling, because it's not his fault he was put on this deal, and I
yeah,
do not have any issue with Raheem Sterling not leaving until he's paid out. Like, fair play to
yeah,
him. But our issue really pertains to the UEFA sanctions. So the issue with the UEFA sanctions is it's about our annual squad cost, essentially, and that includes 12.5 million a year for Raheem Sterling's wages and roughly 10 million a year for his amortised fee. So, although we've lost money by paying to get rid of him, we freed up about 20 mil plus a year in the annual squad costs, which will
yeah,
allow us to buy new players, register new players, and then next season register them for European competition as well. Raheem Sterling's been our biggest issue. Even though we were always going to lose money on him, we've actually gained a lot more in the long term in the annual squad cost, because we're not going to get anyone else and pay him 300 grand a week, are we? That's the thing.
yeah,
If someone comes in, like, for instance, if we get Jeremy Jacquet, he's not going to come in and be like, I want 300 grand a week. He'll get what, like 80, something like that.
yeah,
So there's room. I mean, and he will essentially take over Raheem Sterling's amortised fee, but he will cost like a third of the wages at the end of the day. So yeah, I do get it why we did it, and yeah, I'm just glad he's gone, man. I think it was just for the best, to be honest. What do you think?
yeah. I mean, been calling out for a while now for him to be gone. Understand how difficult it was, not just from the player side, but of course, I'm sure he wants to play football. But there's circumstances. He's getting a good wage. He's around his family. I can understand why he wouldn't want to go. Got no problems with that. But I'm happy that he has finally gone. It's the saga's over. There's one more that needs to go, which we'll get on to a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are other players.
I think there's two more technically who can be considered squad, like including Disasi, because there's
Bomb
David
squad, yeah.
Fofana as well, and we've
Forgot he even
recalled.
existed, mate.
I think we've recalled him from his loan at Karagamuk. I think it's called a second league Turkish team, and Celtic were interested in him last time I heard about that, but I'm not sure what's gone on with that. But yeah, Axel Disasi is the next one we'll move on to, and this all connects together with the whole centre-back thing, right? Because Fabrizio Romano came out yesterday and said advanced, like the talks are advanced, we're in the final stages of agreeing the loan for Axel Disasi to West Ham. But it hasn't happened yet, and that's probably because Chelsea are, well, not probably, because it's possibly because Chelsea are offering him as a make weight in the Jacquet deal as well. So I think from
to Rennes?
Yeah. So there's a couple of rumblings, right? Because obviously we've brought Aaron Anselmino back, we've got Axel Disasi, and Mamadou Sarr is in the mix as well. So all of these four centre backs, all of their all of their futures are inextricably linked together by the looks of things. Now, the best case scenario I can see is that Rennes like the look of Axel Disasi. We get 15 mil for him for 20 at an absolute push. Ah, yes. Omar, sup guys? Thoughts on Chelsea having to play UCL matchup on neutral ground since Arsenal and Spurs finished above us in the standings? We will be getting on to the Champions League stuff. We're just gonna talk a little bit about transfers. Also, welcome Kamafia. All the real ones are here tonight, man. Love that. So yeah. Anyway, Axel Disasi. If Rennes are interested in him, then we get 15, 20 mil for Axel Disasi. Maybe that sort of brings the price down of Jacquet, which makes him more affordable, and it gets Axel Disasi off our books permanently. That would be
Yeah.
the best case scenario, I think. The other thing that I've heard is that also apparently they are offering Aaron Anselmino on loan to Rennes as well. And the other thing is obviously Aaron Anselmino might be sent to Strasbourg if none of that happens. And I think basically what I think it is we'll get one of Jacquet or Mamadou Sarr in this window. But I think if we get Jacquet now, Mamadou Sarr will stay at Strasbourg to the end of the season. So it's all a bit... Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, what do
So
you
the
think,
player
man?
that I feel sorry for out of this is Anselmino.
Yeah, for sure.
Loan
Definitely.
cut at Dortmund seems to be having a great loan out there. They loved him.
Yep.
From the videos, he seemed to love it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Torn out of that to now be potentially used as a paperweight for another signing, which, like, I don't know, man. That's just is that what we do now? Like, I get it. Business is business. Business is cruel. Whatever. But
Yeah.
I would say if we're bringing in these kind of players, and especially these kind of centre backs, which Aaron Anselmino was one of those ball playing centre backs, we're not even giving them an opportunity.
I'm not
Like
surprised.
to even show,
I'm not-
but then at least let them finish their loans. Like,
Yeah. I think the thing is, it's like I'm not surprised that Aaron Anselmino isn't getting a shot in the Chelsea team, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it mostly comes down to how little he's played this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at Dortmund or at Strasbourg, there's room to take a bit more of a gamble on a player like that who has the
Yeah.
ability but hasn't had loads of game time. Do you know what I mean? But at Chelsea, we need Champions League and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So if if we do end up keeping Aaron Anselmino and he
Yeah.
gets injured, that's devastating for us. Do you know what I mean? That really, really hurts our chances.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just it is all a mess though, man. Like it is.
Look,
100%
I'll be
an
real,
absolute
mate.
mess.
For me, Anselmino should have stayed at Dortmund, and we should have brought back Sarr. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Sarr, yes, he's young, whatever. But he's just won the AFCON. He's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Like at what 19?
Yeah, 19. I
But
think
we
so.
go in, and I'm going to say this, and it's a joke because if he potentially becomes a Chelsea player, I can see the rival fans saying it. And it's probably going around. But we're looking to bring in Jacquet Potato, who has just broken into the Rennes team at he's played 17 games a season. And what he deserves, he's shown more and deserves more of a shot than an AFCON winner.
Mate, the thing
It
is,
just
yeah,
doesn't make sense.
from
And we're going to get fleeced for him. I can tell you that now.
everyone would
and
get
that-
fleeced for him.
Yeah, and that's-
Anyone who wanted
yeah.
him was going to pay a huge amount of money. So the thing is, he's obviously highly valued. So that in itself. Now the
Yeah.
thing is, based what you've just said, like I do agree with you on the face of it. That's how it looks. But the key thing to consider in the Mamadou Sarr, Jeremy Jacquet thing is Liam Rosinia, right? Liam Rosinia really is massively pushing for Jeremy Jacquet, despite having literally played Mamadou Sarr in his Strasbourg
Yeah.
team for the first 6 months of this season. So that should tell you pretty much everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it tells me that he wants the player, right? But the importance of the player, because they were even talking about buying him and sending him back on loan. What's the point in that?
Yeah, no, that 100%. I don't agree.
That I just
No,
don't. And that was like after the first few days. Now, what's to say that still doesn't happen? And then
so
I'm like, what's the point of spending hopefully it doesn't. If we're spending 65 million on this player, I'm expecting him to come into the squad.
yeah,
and,
100%, 100%.
play well. But if we
Yeah.
spend 65 and either send him back to Rennes or send him to Strasbourg to bring in Sarr, then to me, what is the point? Just bring Sarr. It just
100%.
doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely 100% agree with you. If I've said this in a few of my
Yeah.
videos, I do not think that buying him to loan him back to Rennes for the rest of the season
Yeah.
is a good idea. I think that's silly. I think there's so much can happen in football in 6 months. You never know who
Yeah.
else is going to pop up and become available. Maybe he has a bad second half of the season now. We can get him cheaper later or whatever. I don't think spending a bag on him now to get him in the summer is a good idea. I 100% agree with you there. But in terms of getting him in the squad right now, what I'm looking at is Rosinia has literally worked with Mamadou Sarr for 6 months and he's gone and won an AFCON, but Rosinia is still pushing for Jacquet. Right, because the thing is, if Rosinia's
Rosinia's worked with Sarr more than 6 months. Though. I'm pretty sure he was on
Yeah, no, he was actually.
He
So it's
bought
like,
him,
yeah,
loaned
like
him back a
two,
whole
yeah.
year, and then he
Yeah,
went
yeah,
back
yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah.
didn't
No,
he?
you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. So it was all of
Yeah,
last
yeah. So it
season
was
as well. Do you
almost,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So if anything, that only backs up the point. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah.
saying, if the manager, like, because remember this, right? When Rosinia was coming in and when Maresca got sacked, everyone was like, "Oh, Liam's just a yes man," and
Mm.
rah, this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, so if Liam Rosinia thinks that Jeremy Jacquet will be more transformative to the team than a player that he's literally coached for the
Yeah.
last 18 months, then I think that that's what we should trust, because we don't want Blueco making the decisions about who comes in and out and
No.
stuff. Do you know what I mean? This is exactly the kind of thing that we were accusing, Maresca and and Liam Rosinia of, as like being a yes man and
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I get that, but then the
So
confusing part comes about if he was to be loaned back to them, because then
yeah,
that can't be a Rosinia decision, because
no,
why
that
would he
wouldn't be.
say, "Oh,
That wouldn't
buy me
be.
this player
Yeah,
to give him back"? It
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Yeah,
it
no,
it will
but
be how it materializes and
yeah,
how it
yeah,
ends up coming
100%,
will be a
100%.
big
I am exclusively talking about if he comes in now. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
100%. I'm not talking about, like, I'm not saying, yeah, let's buy him and bring him in the summer. I think that's dumb. Do you know what I mean? I think if that is even a question, don't bother. Get Mamadou Sarr
yeah,
back now. Send Aaron Anselmino to Strasbourg, or let him go back to Dortmund, or whatever.
yeah,
Send
or do what they
Disasi to
do.
Strasbourg or whatever. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
so
But yeah, no, 100%. I do not think,
yeah,
none of what I think is about Jeremy Jacquet. If he comes, he comes now. Do you know what I mean? It has to be. We've
yeah.
got a couple of. So have we, as guys, watched Jacquet? I haven't watched any Ren games, but I've done statistical deep dives. There's a video on my channel about it where I looked into his season so far, and I've obviously watched highlight reels. So and the highlight reels don't tell anything, but the stats fill in what the highlight reels tell you in terms of where he's not very good as well. So what Jeremy Jacquet is a tough tackling, passing player, right? He attempts more long balls per game than either Benoit Badiashile or Tosin Adarabioyo. He attempts and is successful in a lot more tackles as well. So he's a better defender than Benoit and Tosin Adarabioyo. He's a good short passer. I think it's like 89-90% short passing. And he attempts a lot more long balls, which is what ultimately I think, because at the moment Sanchez does those long balls, doesn't he? But I think the way
Yeah.
Rosinia wants to play is he wants the centre back doing that, and then the goalkeeper playing it short, because obviously that long ball starts a little bit further
Yeah.
up the pitch. So Daniel's saying Sarr works under Liam. So we've just talked about
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
little bit. I do actually think that is something that is telling. Do you know what I mean? Because if Liam Rosinia thought Sarr was a better option for the team than Jeremy Jacquet, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, would
Yeah.
we? He'd just be
I
here
do
already.
also think that because we've screwed Strasbourg up by taking their manager, I think they might be. I know they don't care about Strasbourg. They've comments have come out about it, but I kind of think that to then go and probably take their most influential centre back as well as their manager might be a bit over the top. Could
I'm
be
not gonna
part
lie
of the
to you, man.
reasons why they're looking at. I don't
Gary
care.
O- Gary O'Neill's
If I'm real.
Gary O'Neill's already smashing it there. Do you know what I mean? Genuinely.
Yeah, they're doing well,
He's
but in
literally,
terms of
um,
to make it even worse,
results is
which
what matters, man. At the end of the day, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
it will
you
be.
know,
But
the ultras, yeah, the ultras. Literally, like, I watched an interview with one of the heads of the Strasbourg Ultras on Talksport, and he said he would rather this team gets relegated and goes down 2 tiers than have Blueco in charge. The overwhelming majority
yeah,
of the casual fans don't feel like that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
the
yeah,
loudest voices in Strasbourg are the ones that are protesting, but they're also saying we don't care about success. We just want our team to run the way it runs. So
yeah,
it's complicated, man. At the end of the day, I think that if they got Aaron Anselmino, I think he'd do well over there. He was doing well at Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? And you'd argue
yeah.
that,
I would say the German league is tougher than the French league,
yeah, yeah.
so
So
I
I,
think he would do well. And I think the pace is a bit slower in France than it is in Germany. I
yeah,
mean, what I potentially could see happening is Rosinia thinking of a Sarr Jacquet, because he already has Sarr. Like, it's
yeah,
not like we need to buy Sarr. We already have Sarr.
mm,
So if his long term thinking is to have these two as the centre backs moving forward, and maybe we see obviously Badiashile, I still think Badiashile might go. Tosin, I
mate,
think, is definitely going. I
Chalobah,
think
man.
maybe even Fofana.
I
Do you
don't
think
think
Chalobah?
Fofana. I think
I
Chalobah.
think
Mate, I think Chalobah's top of the list is what
you
Chalobah
reckon.
is. Yeah, he's 2 years left on his deal. He's the most valuable by far, not only because he's an academy player, but because he's been our most played centre
Yeah.
back this season. So his stock's only risen. We're looking at 40, 50 mil for Trevor Chalobah now. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And also, if we bring in
But
these
then you've
other centre
also
backs,
yeah.
and he goes down, and and Levi Colwill comes back and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suppose we've keep
Chalobah
forgetting
drops
about
back.
Colwell.
Chalobah drops back
Yeah.
to a bench role, and he's not just going to sit. It's not even just going to be big bad Blueco sell Chalobah. Chalobah's going to
Yeah.
go, I'm not playing enough, or I'm not going to get enough game time because you've got all these other
Yeah.
guys.
But
I
I can
want
see I
selling.
could see I could see Fofana saying the same thing. If
Mm,
these players get in front of him, because Colwell's
yeah,
come back, I think I heard that he's on the grass now, which is crazy. So he may return before the end of the season. But if their long term plan is to have Levi Colwell in that left centre back role, then you're going to have Jacquet, maybe Sarr if he comes back competing for that middle role, and then what, Fofana and Chalobah. Do you think Fofana is going to be content to sit on the bench? And are we
I,
going to spend 65 million
the thing
for a
it's
bench
different.
player?
It's
I don't know.
different gravy though, man, because how much more valuable Fofana is. If someone comes in with a
Mm,
massive bid for Fofana, then yeah, I think. But it isn't just about like Trevor Chalobah is the perfect storm of situations, right?
yeah,
It's like he's playing a lot, he's very valuable, and it will be easy to sell him. Do you know what I mean? It'll be really
yeah,
easy to sell Trevor
yeah,
Chalobah.
yeah. It'd be a lot easier to sell him than Fofana. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be really easy to sell Badiashile and Tosin. We'll get 20 mil, maybe just a bit over for him. Do you know what I mean? But no
yeah.
one's going to come in with 80 mil for Fofana at the moment, are they?
No.
And I would argue Fofana, for the
Lucky to
most
get
part, will
40.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is we won't take that loss until we absolutely have to. So I think this is the thing. Like, although it's not very fun, you can't just look at the football inside of it. It is the reason that for me, Chalobah is the top of the list. It's all of the things together. It's the footballing stuff.
Yeah,
It's the academy stuff. It's the business stuff. And ultimately, do I think Trevor Chalobah is good enough to be the starting centre back in a Premier League winning team? No, not really. I think he's good enough to be a depth player and a squad player. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he wants that. Do you know what I mean? I think that he would rather go to, I don't know, he could probably, an Italian team would come in for him, or do you know what I mean? Like,
if I
he
was
could,
him and that was the case, I'd probably try and go back to Palace,
yeah, yeah, exactly. He'd
stay
get
in
loads of,
London.
because you got to think as well, like you don't need to play in a big team to get into the England squad anymore because we haven't got Gareth Southgate as a manager. Do you know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
can play for Crystal Palace and you can get into the England squad and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that if a team comes up with 40 mil plus for Trevor Chalobah and he wants to go, then he'll
yeah,
go.
he'll go.
If
Yeah,
Chalobah wants to stay and he's like, no, I want to stay and fight for my spot, I don't think they'll push him out, try to push him out like they did before, because obviously, he ended, and you would love to have a guy like that as a rotation option, of course, 100%.
yeah.
But with all
He's
of
more
these,
fit.
yeah,
He
yeah,
just
yeah,
he
yeah,
barely gets injured. I mean, we're like relying on Fofana to potentially stay fit, which is part of the reason why his price tag has dropped so much, but also part of the reason why we've basically wasted the last 3 years because he's barely played.
yeah, man, yeah, it's true. Right, we'll go through a couple of these comments. Kamafia, we slapped Dortmund in the face for trying to hustle us. Strasbourg can develop him better. So that's an interesting idea. The relationship between Chelsea and Dortmund does seem to be getting a little bit strained, doesn't it? Because obviously they
Yeah,
rinsed us for Jamie Gittins, man. Like they completely rinsed us. So I'm hearing they're not very happy that we've recalled Anselmino. But at the end of the
no.
day, it's like they're
Well, apparently,
also
I heard rumors that they were talking to his agent about a permanent for next season, and apparently we
Chelsea
didn't
said
like it
no.
again.
Yeah, no,
It's
Chelsea said no.
it's lots of it's lots of rumors like that, but yeah, they
Yeah.
don't seem too happy.
They made an
But
inquiry. They made an inquiry earlier in the
yeah,
season about saying, "Can we buy him permanently?" And we said no. So, and the thing is, in recent memory, Dortmund aren't quite the talent machine they were. Do you know what I mean? Jude
no, they're
Bellingham and
not
Erling
producing the
Haaland.
same.
Do you know what I mean? Seem to be the last two, don't they? And since then, not been quite as
Yeah,
good. Daniel doesn't want to spend £60 million on Jacquet. For me, if he comes in the team right now, I'm game. Do it. But I don't want to do that for next season. Kamafia, if we really value you highly, we will overpay. We have seen that with Moises
yep,
Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. This is a world where we sell Badiashile, Fofana, and Tyson in the summer. Again, I'm not sure about Fofana, just for the reasons. At the end of the day, it just comes down to money. I don't see someone coming in with 80 mil for Fofana. Do you know what I mean? That's the
No.
thing.
But
And
it might be another one of those players where they cut their losses. Because
I,
it will depend. If he can stay fit for the rest of the season, different
yeah,
conversation. If he
100%.
gets injured again, I think he
Yeah.
falls into that category.
Oh yeah,
Same
100%.
with what's his
I think
face.
I think the thing is
Lavia.
though, even if he's not starting every single game, he's good enough to be a squad player if that's what Chelsea
Yeah.
deem for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
At the
it's
end
just,
of the day,
again, whether he wants that.
yeah,
Which
100%, yeah.
I don't
But
think
it's
he would.
like I say, it's different because
Yeah,
Trevor Chalobah has a lot more weight because he's an academy player and he's so valuable.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So if
yeah,
if Fofana and Chalobah both knock on Egbali's door tomorrow and say, I want to leave, right? You look
yeah,
at Fofana and you're like, you cost us 80 million, you've barely played, you've got fitness issues, no one's going to come in for you. We're developing you at the moment. We think you could go on to be something really big, but you're not at a point right now where we could recoup, even break even on you. And
yeah,
then you look at Trevor Chalobah and you say, right, so we could sell you for 40 mil, and that is pure profit for a start, liquid cash for us to go out and buy more players. You're not going to be happy. We tried to sell you before anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because for the exact same reason. So I just think if you put both of their situations on paper in front of
yeah,
the people making the decisions, Trevor Chalobah gets sold every single time, just because of the
yeah.
situation that he's in. Kamafia says. Rossinia said at Strasbourg we could get Jacquet. I can't get Jacquet, and at Chelsea I can get him. Tell you what he thinks of him while having sight. Yeah, exactly. And that's a great shout, man. I saw that quote actually. That's kind of what I'm saying as well. It's if Rossinia thought Sarr was a better option, he'd already be here. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know that.
The only thing I think is he knows that he already has Sarr. That's the kind of the difference.
Yeah, but in
I do
terms of
think
like
part of the yeah,
improving
I
the
get what
squad
you're
right
saying.
now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Improving the
yeah,
squad
yeah.
right now. Like we wouldn't have brought Aaron Anselmino back from loan to see if we can use him in one of these deals. We'd just have brought
Yeah.
Sarr back. Do you know what I mean? And we'd have shipped him straight over there. I think because what we have to be looking at now, or what Rosinia is looking at now, is the rest of this season. Do you know what I mean? Champions League, FA Cup, still
Yeah.
Carabao Cup to
And
go.
we do need reinforcements,
We do need
which is
reinforcements.
why
yeah.
it's concerning that there's been none.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bar
No,
one 18-year-old, I think, wasn't it? Something.
yes,
Is
it's
it left back or
17.
something?
I think it's
17? Yeah.
Yissa.
Can't remember. That's it,
Yissa,
yes, sir.
the Sheffield Wednesday right back, left
Yeah.
back is he? Can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know if he's going to get in the team, man. Or he's just going into the academy.
He'll
but
be loaned somewhere, I reckon.
yeah,
Or he'll be stuck down in the what, under 18s, 19s.
I do think we're going to see a flurry of things happen because, like, for instance, I don't think we're just going to get lumbered with the Axel Disasi for the rest of the season either. Do you know what I mean? Not when West Ham are already this close. And I think that, Sterling's gone at the end of the day. That was a huge one. And look at how massive the decision they made in order to get rid of him was. Do you know what I mean? In paying out. That proves that they are trying to make things happen because they could have left that until the end of the season. If they weren't concerned with getting someone in right now, they could easily have just gone, well, we're not going to worry about Raheem Sterling in January. We'll wait and see what happens at the start of next season, and then it will cost us a little bit less at once to because it's so I have a feeling a little, maybe it's copium or whatever, but I do think that something is going to happen in the next couple of days in the transfer window. So we've got from Omar, also if we get Mr. Potato, that means Trev, Tosin, Badiashile are out. Anselmino will go on loan to Strasbourg to continue his development. Yeah, Tosin and Badiashile, I will not be disappointed.
I'm just seeing some news breaking 12 minutes ago. How true it is. Chelsea are now pushing to bring Mamadou Sarr back to London before the end of the window.
Really?
All parties involved are fairly confident of completing this comeback.
Okay.
I'm trying to see the source.
Yeah.
It looks like I want to say an Italian source.
So that would to me say that we're probably not going to get Jacquet. That's what I think. I'd be really surprised if we got them both because then we'd have a ridiculous.
I don't know. I've just got a weird feeling that we're gonna, similar to what you said, we're gonna bring Sarr back. We're gonna send Anselmino to Strasbourg. We're gonna buy Jacquet. We're gonna give him back to Rennes. I don't know why, but I can just feel like that's gonna happen. And to me, that's just pointless.
Sarr coming in,
pointless.
Sarr coming in is
Get it, but to buy a player for that much, to then loan him back, like if they're gonna loan him back, and that's what then it's got to be what, 40 mil max,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah.
Like you're not paying 60 mil to give a player back. I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous.
No. I mean, to be fair, we did that with Esteban Willian and Giovanni Quenda.
Yeah,
So there is a precedent. There is a precedent already set there. I
yeah,
guess
but you sort of you sort of expect to play that kind of money, not
for an
really that
attacker.
kind of money for these young players, but for attackers.
Yeah.
It's different when it's a centre back or a defender. It's a little. This is a player that we were told, or not a player, but a position that they wanted to recruit for in January. It's a priority position.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
No, I
We'll
do.
see.
I do
But
agree. I think Sarr. If Sarr does come back, that is indicative to me that we are not getting a centre
no,
back through
this window.
for
No.
this window. I think Sarr is the centre
Yeah.
back essentially. Just
The
having a
problem
quick
you'll
look.
have is if they do want to go for him in the summer, there will be other teams that didn't
Ooh,
want to go for him now that will push for the summer, and then it's going to create some war in it, and then that's not where we want to be in.
so let's do something we don't do very often. Let's have a little look at the old X. So, because I've just seen this breaking. This was an hour ago from Carve Solikol from Sky. Obviously, PYS is an aggregator. Jeremy Jacquet only wants Chelsea. Personal terms agreed. Expect development after both sides have played their matches on Saturday. So, interesting, right? That is interesting. So I'm just going to... Yeah, and
This
here's
is
what
a-
you said as well, and that was
Yeah.
Fabrice Hawkins. Chelsea would like to
Yeah.
recall Mamadou Sarr, but there's a problem. Anselmino doesn't want to go to Strasbourg to replace him. Interesting. So
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be part of he's upset that his loan was cancelled for
yeah.
what this is, which is in terms not to bring him back to play him, but
I
to use
mean,
him as a, which ended as harsh as it sounds. He's their asset to do with what
yeah,
they
that's
want.
that's the truth, man, isn't it? It's like, mate, if
Yeah.
Dortmund want to come in with a 50 mil bid for him, yeah, you can have him.
Then
Do you know
fair
what I
enough,
mean?
yeah. Then,
And-
but they're
and-
not
and-
going to, are they?
No,
No.
exactly. And after they absolutely fleeced us for Jamie Gittins as well, because we got him in, for the Club
Yeah,
World
yeah.
Cup. Or even no, he didn't even join the Club World Cup squad, did he? But
They
yeah,
paid
after we got
peanuts for Carney, didn't they?
yeah, absolutely. So Carmafia said it earlier. I'm not actually particularly bothered about the Dortmund relationship because that has actually not been super fruitful for us recently. And and with Anselmino, it's like you're a 20-year-old with potential. You don't get that much player power. This is the problem with Kendry Pires, man. Do you know what I mean? Kendry Pires had a bit of an attitude problem as well. Right, let's have a little look at some of
He's
these.
gone River Plate, isn't he?
Yeah. Gotta love Dortmund for trying some sneaky tactics to poach Anselmino, then getting us for taking him back. Yeah, man. Well, it's exactly what we were just talking about. Do you know what I mean? 100%. It's I don't think and I agree with you, Kai. Like, it's harsh, but Anselmino hasn't got a leg to stand on, man. That's the truth, isn't it? It's not nice to say that, but it is just the truth. It is just the truth. He's a 20-year-old centre back who's been injured for the majority of this season. He likes it over at Dortmund. Lots of players like it over at Dortmund. They're really good at developing young players and stuff. But at the end of the day, like,
the thing is for him, like he can refuse. He can refuse or not go. But then for his development, he's still young. Does he not want to be playing football for the rest of the season? Which
that's the thing, isn't it?
It will hinder his development, which on the side is not the smartest. But I get, to be pulled to the UK, thrown out to Germany, to be pulled back, to get sent out to France. I get it. It's crap. I get it, especially for such a young kid.
He's only played 10 games.
Yeah.
Right, so welcome, Gabrielle. We are going to get to you in a minute, man. I'm just going to get through some of these comments, but welcome to the stream. Thoughts on Liam saying he wants Josh in the squad?
This is also one of my concerns with all these players coming in. For
100%.
me,
Yeah.
Josh is better than both.
Well, better than both of who? What, Sarr
Mamadou Disasi and Jacquet. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you can say that, man. Like, you literally,
Why
Mamadou
not?
Sarr just won the AFCON and he's been playing first-team football in France, as a first-teamer for the last 18 months. Do you know what I mean? I think Josh has the potential. Maybe his ceiling is higher. I think we can have an argument or a conversation about potential, but...
What's one of the biggest worries when you bring in players from overseas leagues? What's one of the biggest problems?
Premier League adaptability,
Adaptability,
essentially.
right?
Yeah.
Josh has been playing, and not just been playing, but has looked our best centre back in the toughest league in the world. So in terms of experience, I get AFCON not taken away. AFCON, amazing competition, brilliant at SAR. But in terms of Premier League experience, I
You're the
put
one that
Josh
always says, you're the one that literally always talks about how important winning is, though. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and
yeah,
how
but
that's so important, like
yeah,
for the
but
mentality and that.
yeah, I get that, right? But it's just one player. When we're talking about winning, we're talking about a whole team. Josh has had experience. Josh has also won things with this squad.
Yeah.
No, he was part of the
Uh,
Conference League winning team. He may have not.
Barely.
Well, he played. He played a lot of games. It was only to the latter stages when we were going on to win it did we see less and less of him. But he was still part of the squad. Just because he didn't play in the
Yeah.
final doesn't mean he wasn't
No, it's
part
not
of
even just
winning
playing in
it.
the final, man. He didn't make
Yeah,
many appearances last season. We can
no,
have a look though. Let's have a little
but
look.
he has been, an important part of the squad this season. I feel like if we're bringing in Sarr and Jacquet, he could potentially be one of the casualties. Not now,
Yeah.
but in the summer, not being sold. I think we could see a loan for him next season.
Yeah.
If they bring in both, if they bring in one, I'd say no. I think you'll see him stay because I think we're going to see a lot of centre backs go out. But if they bring in both, I think we could see Josh go on loan next year. If they see him as a centre back, if they're looking at him as a right back,
Yeah.
then it depends what we do with Reece James. Are we seeing him more as a right back, or are we seeing him more as a midfielder? That again, time will tell.
So he made 7 appearances in the Conference League last season, and
How
4 in
many
the Premier League.
games? Yeah, that's last season. How many appearances has he made so far this season in the Prem?
Probably even less than that, I think, isn't it? Because sort of like in the Prem, yeah, I think he's only. He's actually 4 in the Premier League so far, 2 of which have been starts.
Yeah,
EFL 3, so that's 7. So 7 appearances, 5 starts,
yeah.
and Champions
Champs.
League, yeah,
And FA Cup FA Cup started already. But it's only been 1 game, hasn't it?
7. So that's 11 overall appearances, 6 starts, including the Champions League. So he's made more appearances this season so far, definitely. But
Yeah.
it's still not the same as
No.
a Mamadou Sarr, who played 40 games last season for Strasbourg, and obviously has been a big part of them this season, and went and won the AFCON. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I think if
terms
I'm
of,
picking out of the two of which I've said already between Jacquet and Sarr, I it would make sense more for me, and I would prefer Sarr to come in rather
Yeah.
than Jacquet, especially
Yeah.
with. I mean, I think he's had more experience in the French league as well compared to Jacquet.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have his loan. Was it Clermont last season? I want to say Jacquet went
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. I'll check that.
And then back to obviously Rennes, where he's doing well this season. But Sarr's been a main starter for Strasbourg for the last 2 years, isn't he? Is he
Yeah.
captain?
Yeah. I think he's captain now, and it was no, he's not. Omega's the captain, isn't he? I think.
Oh, it's always weird when you have a striker as a captain.
I'm not sure if
I
he's
don't know if I
maybe a
like it
slight-
too much.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Right. So Jacquet has made 17 starts this season
this season, yeah.
and 17 appearances, which is so no goals.
Are
no assists.
they're not in the
I'm-
champs or anything like that? Are they?
They're in the conference. They're top of the Conference League, aren't they? Hold on. I don't think he's played in the Conference League though. I think he's only being used in the because he hasn't made any appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played in League 2 last season, so that
Was
would have
it
been the loan
Clermont?
to
Yeah,
Clermont.
Clermont, yeah.
I can quickly see.
Which I think he got quite a bit of games there, but again, that's not even the top of the French league. So
Yeah.
it's,
No, yeah. So he played 29 games last season.
yeah, but obviously
Yeah.
so
So
division lower. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
in terms he's played. He's only got 17 games in the top flight and a top flight, or top 5, top 6 league, wherever you want to put it. But yeah, I mean, Sarr makes the most sense on it.
Yeah, let's have a look at Mamadou Sarr.
I hope
actually.
Josh doesn't force carry. I see Omar's comment there. It does kind of make sense, and I hope it's not the case. The one above it.
Yeah, read it out, man. I'm just checking.
Is Josh a contingency in case Reece doesn't re? we had this discussion in the last stream, didn't we, about
Yeah,
Reece
yeah, we
James and
did.
his contract? Like, for me, give the guy what he wants, and I'm sure we
Yeah,
all feel the
yeah, yeah.
same.
I
And I
think they
hope
will,
that's the
man.
case.
I'm
I
not
hope
gonna lie to
you
you.
can't.
I think even if Reece James asked for like 400k, I think they'd give it to him. Do you know what I mean? I've got a feeling that
He's
and as well, like
is the
it
exception
all,
to the rule, or
yeah,
should
yeah,
be at
and
least.
it also gives a shining beacon to every single player. This is what you can achieve. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? At the end of the day, before all the blue code and that, Reece James is a Champions League winner as well. So that's
yeah.
massive. That's huge. He's got so much experience. But yeah, he's been adaptable. He's played in midfield when he's need to. He's played in centre back. He never complains. He's a consummate
No,
professional. He's really grown into his leadership role. He's come back from an almost career-ending injury. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think Reece James is worth the money. If we were going to pay anyone in our squad that much, Reece James 100% gets it for me. And I think, like I say, I think if you do that, it doesn't even break it. It says this is what good performance gets you.
yeah, yeah.
Be like Reece James. Do you know what I mean? As a to everyone else in the team. Gabriel, personal terms agreed with Jacquet a few weeks ago. Of course, he will agree to a 4-time salary uplift on a 7-year contract. Man has played half a season of games. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's.
I mentioned this in my video on him. Like, it's nothing against him.
Yeah.
If any one of us was sitting here and we were offered that kind of money, that kind of contract to play for this, Chelsea,
Yeah. Yeah. Of course
you're
you would.
never turning it down. Never, ever, ever. So I don't look at these players go, how can you be signing your life away? But security, setting their family up for life, potentially being, playing in the best league in the world, Champions League and everything. Why would you turn that down? It's not going to happen. So nothing on him.
Interestingly, I've just got Mamadou Sarr's stats up here. He's only played 14 games this season. So, and he's actually got a fairly lower rating than Jeremy Jacquet has as well.
But would that also be part of because he would have missed a chunk because of AFCON, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I guess with that
I don't know
3
how
games.
many he would have missed, but
That's
he would
true.
have missed some.
But he has overall not been playing as well as Jacquet this season either. And I think positionally, that's a big part of this as well, because Mamadou Sarr, I'll get this up. I've got his heat map here.
Yeah, because Jacquet is a centre back. I don't know.
No, I think Jacquet is like a left or right, and so this is Mamadou
when I
Sarr's
did this
heat
thing,
map.
I'm pretty sure centre, but
So Mamadou Sarr's heat map is saying that he is basically a central centre back because you can see that like almost like a bow tie. He seems to favour the left a little bit more, but in general he seems to be sticking kind of mostly to the middle. And then if we look at Jacquet,
I'm just going to call him JJ.
JJ. Oh no, over here.
Come off it. Well, it's the centre as well, though, isn't it?
I would say it favours the right a lot
Centre
more
on the
though.
right hand side, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But still centre of the park.
And getting quite far up as well, actually, isn't he? If you
it's in the centre circle there, isn't he?
Yeah,
even a little
yeah,
bit on the right hand of midfield.
So this is Sarr. I mean, yeah. So Sarr is definitely like just getting over that halfway line a little bit. But what that means about Jeremy Jacquet, that's ball recoveries. Do you know what I mean? That's him getting up and
high
tackling
line.
and yeah. And in the Premier League, you got to especially think about low blocks. Do you know what I mean? If so I personally look, it will be what it will be. I would be happy with either Mamadou Sarr or Jacquet, but I think there's a reason why there's so much hype around Jacquet. I think it is not just a case of because it's not just us either. Bayern Munich, obviously, I think he's just too expensive for them. I don't even think it's just the potential though. I think that as a player, there's more. Everyone has a breakout season. Do you know what I mean? Cole Palmer had a breakout season. No one was, looking at Cole Palmer before he did, being like, this is the guy. But then obviously he had his breakout season, didn't he? I think statistically, and like I say, Jacquet had one bad performance against PSG since November. Do you know what I mean? And his average SofaScore rating is 7.05 to Mamadou Sarr's. Oh, let's do that. 6.83, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, because if you're above 8, that's elite. Do you know what I mean? That's like the top players. So the best players in general are getting around a 7.
Doing about 7, aren't they?
If we look at someone that we've got at the moment, let's look at Trevor Chalobah. Oh, not Trebo. Trevor Chalobah. So Trevor Chalobah this season 7.1. So Jeremy Jacquet is having, albeit in France, a better statistical season where he is than Trevor Chalobah is at the moment. Now the question is obviously, does that transfer? That's obviously a
Yeah, that is all is well. Look, it's going to be the worry for any player you bring in from overseas.
yeah, of course.
Is it adaptable? So
I'd almost rather bring him from France than Germany, though. If I'm honest, I think French players that have
based
come
on
from France-
recent,
yeah,
based on recent history. But then you look at didn't as Disasi and Badiashile both come from France, and I think they were at Monaco together.
yeah, that's true. But also
So-
Thiago Silva,
Yeah,
he came from
yeah,
France. He was pretty good, wasn't he?
yeah. Wealthy, mate. I fucking. He's not. I'm not available now. He's at Porto, isn't he? But I would have taken him, just for his knowledge, more than anything
100%,
else.
man. That would have solved so many of our problems for me. Like, I am still a little bit disappointed. Like, there's been it kind of flown off, but there was talk about N'Golo Kante for a little while as well, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, please, even if he plays like 4 games, just to see him on the pitch smiling in a Chelsea shirt again, man, that'd be
Yeah.
next level. And it doesn't look like
Nostalgia,
we're getting it. Yeah, 100%. But it doesn't look like we're going in for any of the older experienced heads. Obviously, Douglas Luiz has gone to Aston Villa. I have a feeling. So apparently, I reported on this in one of my videos. We never made it past the initial inquiry because Juventus were like obligation to buy or nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why that one fell off. Although I really like the look of him, and I was like, yeah, that seems kind of ideal. But yeah, so yeah, the transfer window, it's weird, isn't it? Because nothing's happened, but there's loads to talk about. It's a strange one this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just lots of noise. There's lots of noise, but only one like getting a little bit further on.
Yeah.
It's not a great window. The only
No.
and we said this before the news come out about we're prioritizing a centre back and we're looking at midfielders and Douglas Luiz and things like that. Before that, asked people in December, people going, we're probably just gonna see outgoings.
Yeah.
We're not going to see anyone come in. Now that it's actually looking like that's the case, I'm sad. I'm sad because I thought this was going to happen. I didn't want it to happen.
I think
It
I'd be
looks like
happy
it's just
to
going to be
see.
dead.
I'd be happy to see whether it be Sarr or Jacquet. Like, I'll
Yeah.
be happy to see someone come in. But the truth is that, like, so I think one of the things we're sleeping on, which is a good thing, is Romeo Lavia. I think Liam Rosenior has dealt with this really, really well because he's been training with us for a while, but there's been zero focus on him because Liam Rosenior refused to give any timeframes or anything.
I feel like that's part of the reason why we also haven't pushed for a midfielder, which
I think so.
it could bite us if he doesn't come back and he can't last a game. It's based on the last few years, it's a gamble, a big gamble, because we're then going to be relying on, and if we are going to play a 3 with Enzo, Caicedo and Enzo, none of them getting fit, none of them getting injured. Otherwise, we're going to be left with, we're going to be a big problem.
I think the thing is, though, just by the nature of we can already see how Liam Rosenior is using the team, I think we're less likely to attain new injuries than we were before because players aren't going to get overplayed as much. Do you know what I mean? Because we're already seeing he's using all 5 subs every game, which you should. I think I don't really see why you shouldn't at the end of the day. But you look at how much game Yoro Hato's got more game time in the last 2 weeks than he did in the last 6
he
months.
looks like he could do something.
Yeah.
Hato, if he keeps going, he's also built like he's a unit. He's not. He doesn't look like he's going to get knocked over, pushed over. He looks robust, which you need in the Premier League to survive.
And also, he is also an option for that left centre back role as well, isn't he? That kind of hybrid left centre back, left back role. Interesting one from Mason here. I really like it. Personally, I think our scouting team has done well of late. I hadn't heard much about Samu Omadorian and John Duran when we were going after them, and they had great seasons last year. That's a really good shout. Do you know who else falls into that category? Anthony Gordon. When he was at Everton, we were before.
Yeah, it's funny though. All the players that were, we're giving them props of scouting.
Yeah.
They've all done well not coming to us, but the players that we've actually scouted and brought in, there's a hell of a lot that have not done very well compared to it.
I think
So it's the
the only ones
question
that
of
aren't particularly doing well at the moment is it's the left wing situation, really, isn't it? And Liam Delap's season has been so hit by injury. I'm not really judging Liam Delap's quality yet. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's had enough.
when was the scouting team overhauled,
But it was
or
last
has it
season.
remained?
No, it's the same
Mm.
from the last season's this season. But yeah, no, and the thing is, I think it was only that first window actually where it was Todd Bowley. Do you know what I mean? He was the
Yeah, it's just a lot of these players that we just scouted that are doing really well are not. Why are we not getting those ones over the line? Is it because obviously I don't know where Sam is. Is he still playing at Porto?
yeah, I think so.
I know he was at Porto.
Yeah.
Is it because they feel that they're not going to be good enough for the Premier League, and that's why
Um,
we don't?
I think Samu Omadorian, it was a fitness thing at the time.
Yeah,
Actually, I think he didn't.
and
He'd had an issue, and
yeah,
John Duran. I think we
I
tried
wouldn't
for John
say.
Duran a few
Yeah,
times.
I wouldn't say John Duran's doing well though. He
No, he
did
did
well
well.
after that.
Yeah,
Then he got his
Aston
move.
Villa. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
you don't hear anything about him now,
Well, he's in
and he's
Saudi,
trying to
isn't
get
he?
out, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
he was
again, I
trying to get
can't.
out.
I don't really judge players' ability when they play in Saudi because it's such a
No,
crazy mix of skill level over there. You can have
yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo and a complete unknown on the same team in Saudi. Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult to judge. But Samu did do really well, and John Duran went on to do really well, and Anthony Gordon also is. I'd love a bit of Anthony Gordon right now on our left wing. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And that was one that people at the time were like, no, absolutely not. I don't want him. Um, and I think if you look at our scouting for the most part, like Nicholas Jackson turned out to be reasonably decent. It was just falling out with Maresca, I think, is the issue. João Pedro obviously has had a difficult period again under Enzo Maresca, but has bookended it with amazing performances.
Yeah.
He's looking really good. Enzo Fernandez has been great. Moises Caicedo has been great. Marco Correa has been great. Cole Palmer's been great. Esteval Williams looking really, really good. Malo Gusto has been an excellent squad player for the last 2 seasons, I think. And
Still
well,
gets a lot of hate.
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't
yeah.
get it.
I
I
think it's just because
understand
he's
he's
not
not.
Reece James, essentially.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we are comparing him to probably, at least in my opinion, the best right back in the world
Mhm. Yeah,
when
yeah,
he's
exactly.
fit and
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And we're trying to compare Malaga. He's not Reece James, but he's
I
a
think
great deputy
I
to
think the thing
have.
is as well, like it was really easy to put the blame on Malagusto when he was getting played in a weird position by Enzo Maresca and the team wasn't doing
Mm.
well. It was really easy to look at this square peg in this round hole that just isn't working. I think he's been a bit of a scapegoat, and I don't actually think that's his fault because if you think about when he was under Pochettino, he looked great. And when he's played as a right back in general, he looks great. But because he's got this versatility, it's almost been pushed on him in order to use it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think Malaga 20 mil for Malagusto, man.
Yeah.
He's been a great player. So I think the players that have made it into the squad. Now the question, and what I'm not absolutely won't argue is, has there been a lot of wastage? Yes, 100%, absolutely. I think a lot of the money has been spent badly. Of course it has. But I think when you look at the majority of the players that have made it into the squad, most of them are good. I think even Robert Sanchez now. Do you know what I mean? Like it took a little while to get there, but he was only 25 mil. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad he just had that one blip
Yeah,
because I felt the Arsenal game.
yeah,
I felt like that was going to be back dark time Sanchez, but
yeah.
he managed to just have that one game, and he seems to be back to solid again.
I
Which
kind of give
he's doing well.
Rosinia props for that, to be honest, because it's like
Yeah,
one thing I like about
handled it well.
Rosinia. Yeah, like I say, unlike Maresca, he's not quite so doggedly married to his tactical strategy because he was like, Rob, I want you to try doing this in this one game, see how it goes. It went badly, and we haven't seen it since. Do you know what I mean?
No,
And Rob Sanchez has been bailing us out of games and is a massive part
yeah,
of why we walked away
yeah,
from that Napoli game. Do you know what I mean? In such good stead. So yeah, like I say, I think it's really easy to look at the failures and be like, it's been really, really bad. But I think when you actually look at, and the thing is, I've kind of maintained this even since, Maresca left and there was all of that negativity and it was really difficult. It's like, I look at the squad and it was second in the Premier League a month before Enzo Maresca left. Do you know what I mean? There are, and I never said we were on for a title challenge this season either. I didn't think we were that far. I think the squad is exactly what it is. I think it's a squad capable of getting Champions League and winning a trophy this season. So yeah, man, I think the scouting overall has been quite good. There's been unfortunate decisions. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when we look at flops, Disasi, Tosin, Badia Shield to an extent as well. The defence situation. But if we've got two of the best fullbacks in the Premier League and two amazing deputy fullbacks for there. We've got a crop of good midfielders. The injuries have really been the issue there. We don't know anything about Dario Osiugo. Romeo Lavia is a fantastic player, but the injury stuff is really, really unfortunate. Enzo Fernandez is great. Cole Palmer's great. But Neto has been serviceable for the amount of money I think we paid for him. Obviously, Esteval Williams, brilliant. Noni Madueke was shipped on for really good money, so I'm not too fussed about that, to be completely honest. And the left wing situation has been a problem since Eden Hazard. It's not even really just Bluco, is it? Let's be completely honest. It's like, Pedro was good. No, not Neto, like old Spanish Pedro. He kind of took it up for a bit and he was good. But after that, it's Mason Mount, it's Timo Werner, it's Jadon Sancho, Mikhailo Mudryk, and now it's Garnacho and Gittins. Do you know what I mean? So I think that problem's been going on for a long, long time, trying to get the right left winger in. What do you think?
Yeah, and I still don't think we have the right one yet.
No.
I think the ones that we have brought in need somebody to learn from. And I think this goes for a lot of the young players. I personally think we are letting them down.
Yeah, okay.
In their development by not providing them with the experienced players to learn from.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think we would see a better Garnacho, a better Gittins, even a better Esteval with a more experienced head with that's got the quality so they can learn from them. I think they would develop a lot faster than they are now.
Do you mean like a winger who was like 27, something like that?
Yeah, that's been around the game. Okay. That's picked up little tricks and things like here that
like Raheem Sterling.
No, don't even say that. No. But you know what I mean, like one that's actually been playing for the last 3 years at least.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. 100%,
yeah. But I mean, like
I do agree.
Like,
100%. Yeah, I do.
And that goes not just for the wing position, like for even what's it, João Pedro, I think, is 24. Even in that position, a 27, 28-year-old striker to teach him things, that's where I feel like we are doing the kids an injustice. And will it change? I don't know. I've seen some decent comments in there, so I think we get through them out.
I'm gonna because we go back a little bit because we've since Mason's on. Right, we'll start with Gabriel. Sorry about any negative comments, but I have apathy about any signings and hyper seems like the old playbook we've seen in the last few years. Yeah, man, 100%. I'm gonna completely. The thing is, every football fan can take all of this however they choose to. Do you know what I mean? Some people are negative, some people are positive, some people are apathetic and stuck in the middle, and that's absolutely fine. I think it's reasonable to be on either side. I generally just choose to try and be quite positive because. I think especially because I'm a content creator, do you know what I mean? I prefer to try and look at what can happen rather than like focus on the negativities because then it doesn't give me much else to talk about afterwards. But there is loads of reasons to be apathetic about Chelsea's transfer business over the last few years. And not even just since Bluco, for me. If I'm completely honest, since Frank Lampard. And I hadn't really loved a team since Frank Lampard youngsters. With Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and
Tammy's back at Villa, isn't he?
Yeah,
is he back? Is he done?
And that wasn't even transfer business, really. Do you know what I mean? That was, Ben Chilwell came into that team, I suppose. But yeah, that's the last time I really liked a team. But I've been apathetic about our transfer dealing since then. Kai Havertz and Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech and, do you know what I mean? Timu Bakayoko and, do you know what I mean? So many duds, man. Dud after dud after dud. And we're not just talking about Bluco. We're talking about the last 8 years. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much the last 8 years. And I feel like we've made some of the best signings we've made in the last 8 years since Bluco have taken over. And I'll be interested to see if anyone disagrees with that. Kamafia, the way football is going now, you have to find them early. Most of these teams have big money and won't sell players unless record-breaking numbers. That's true. Potential has become more expensive than experience. That's the weird thing that's happened, isn't it? Like, It used to be like, you're a winner, you've got a few years under your belt, so we'll pay big for you. Now it's like, you might be amazing, so we're going to tack a load of extra money onto the rest of you. That's definitely a point. Gabriel again. Exactly, we like Arsene Wenger. We could have signed XYZ and failed to get the deals done of those who do well and sign players that seem to flop. Yeah, I love the answer. I could have signed Ronaldo. I could have signed. Do you know what I mean? He loved it, didn't he? He was always like, I had this conversation with that person. But like I say, I've just kind of outlined it there. For me personally, I think it's easy to focus on the flops, but I do think we've made a lot of signings. And the problem is, because they're young, they're going to take time to develop. Do you know what I mean? But we're only a season or two away from a lot of
Like
these players.
Esteval, I don't think we'll
25.
see the best of Esteval for at least another 3-4 years.
The best
He's
of
still
Ali,
got Bestival, yeah. He's that's a great shout. Get out on a t-shirt. Yeah, I think because he's got so much developing to do still.
Yeah.
So much.
And I think even if you look at like João Pedro and Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez, like these guys will be 25 next year. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, the team isn't just kids anymore. So I do think that's interesting. Mason, I think every player is probably different. Duran, since he's gone to Saudi, I assume he wanted more of a contract than we wanted to give him. Yeah, he went there for the bag, man.
Yeah, he went there for the money.
Yeah, he got paid mega bucks as well. Like he was never getting that anywhere else apart from Saudi. Omar, are your feelings towards the club changing since winning 5 out of 6, or are you still having doubts? I have my doubts and have come to the conclusion that wins are all that matters at this time. So where I am is I wasn't doubting the squad when Maresca was doing badly. I was doubting Maresca. And the reason for that is because we were literally in second place. Do you know what I mean? We were literally in second place. We'd stormed through all of our cup games. We were doing reasonably well in the Champions League. And, you know, the loss to Atalanta was contained within that as well. So I haven't been doubting the squad in being able to achieve what I think we can achieve, which is a Champions League finish and a trophy this season. I doubted Maresca. Honestly, my cutting point with Maresca was when he came out after the Everton game and started moaning in the press like a baby. I was like, no, mate. I was like, no, that's not how you roll. So for me, it's like it's easier to be positive now because of the 5 and 6 wins. But ultimately, I'm looking at these wins and they're games we should be winning. And I've even seen people argue that with Liam Rosinia being like, yeah, well, you know, he's played Brentford and Palace. And I'm like, yeah, but these are games that Maresca wasn't winning. Do you know what I mean? So I think that ultimately, if we win all the games we're supposed to win and struggle against the big teams for the rest of the season, that gets us into the Champions League, and I will be happy with that. Just to finish off Omar's thought before I pull it over to you, Kai, my overall feelings remain the same about the ownership, and I feel we need a bit of change to the model as kids. Training kids just doesn't add up to me. So I agree with that. I just don't really care about the owners, man. You know, I want them to change the model, but I'm not like no one likes their owners. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no fat club at all whose fans come out and sing the praises of their owners at the end of the day, is there? But Kai, what do you think about because quite a packed message from Omar there. So what have you got? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, my feelings on the team have always been the same. I'm always going to support them. I want to see them win. They're winning. The first thing I said when Rosinia was appointed was, I don't care how you do it. I don't care how it looks. Just win. Just win. That's all you got to do. And to be fair to him, he's doing that. Apart from the Arsenal, you know, we showed good fight. Some dodgy saving in that game really put us out. But he's got a chance to potentially rectify that next week. But he's winning. So on that side, I can't complain. But like you and many of them, I want to see a change at the top. And I said it there, you know, I feel like we're doing an injustice to what we, you know, giving these kids in terms of helping their development. And I feel that needs to change. And that, for me, won't change. Like, I expect and I want to see that happen. So hopefully it does. But in terms of the team, I think top 4 was possible at the start of the season. I still think it's possible now with the squad. We've shown that we can beat the teams that we're expected to beat, that, you know, we don't bottle it. We don't get walked over when we come up against these teams and maybe going a bit too arrogant or take them for granted a little bit and then get slapped up. We've shown that we can beat them. And I still think we could win a cup. I still do think so. So that hasn't changed. And I felt like that before Rosinia took over anyway. I didn't think that the squad was not good enough to do those things. But now we're on a winning run. Long
Mm.
may it continue. West Ham on the week. What, tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep.
Tomorrow, it's a 5:30
Half
game,
five,
isn't it? Tomorrow.
5:30. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to
You
miss the
know,
game tomorrow, but
next
I'll put the
next
highlights in
game,
again.
you just got to keep this winning momentum going, and
Mm.
hopefully the board sees the light at the end of the tunnel and decides to change.
Yeah,
That's
man.
all I want.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like, I don't care about so much the custodian who is in charge, because I think honestly, if I'm looking at like Blueco or the Ricketts or Qatar or the Saudi PIF, do you know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to like anyone out of those as like, oh yeah, these are great people to own the club. Like, to own a football club, you have to be a capitalist monster at the end of the day. I think we are one of the few clubs in history who have had a capitalist monster who was a massive football fan. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we were so lucky with Roman Abramovich, and that is not the norm. That is
No.
outside of the regular. Since, you know,
Yeah.
back in the day, obviously it would have been very different. But in this new modern age of football, you know, look at all of the big clubs like, you know, it's City are Qatari owned, Manchester United and Arsenal and Liverpool are all owned by Americans as well. Do you know what I mean? They're all big venture
Yeah, and
capitalist
lots
Americans.
of it, like we were, like you said, we were blessed with Roman, and
Mm,
we will never see another owner like that.
no,
Not
I don't
now.
think so. No.
But the things that these owners are getting slaughtered for in terms of like the wage capping thing,
Mm.
how can you wage cap? We're going to lose out on players. This is creeping into Bayern Munich are doing it.
I
They
think,
have
yeah,
said that they are wage capping
yeah,
now. This
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
going to become the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
norm for
100%.
everybody.
Yep, yep.
And
Because
it,
football can't be a financially unchecked monster, can it? That's the thing. It
no,
can't be allowed to just keep expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding until it bursts. Do you know what I mean? It has to
yeah,
be regulated. It has to be paid attention to, because otherwise it will just get worse for everyone. That's the truth. You'll start seeing players on £1 million a week. Do you know what I mean? £1 million a week for
yeah.
players, and things are just going to get absolutely crazy, and it can't get that crazy, man. It can't get that crazy, because unfortunately, that's just going to make it more expensive for all of the normal people that watch it, and then football becomes a sport for
Well, yeah,
rich
because
people.
ticket prices they're going up now, but they'll be going through the roof.
Yeah.
It keeps going on the way that it's going, and everything will get more expensive. Your shirts are going to get more expensive. Everything just goes up. So look, I wish we had a owner like Roman again. I really do. I can never. No club is ever going to have that owner again. Not that
And the
type.
thing is, like, football's already changed. Like, Roman was
Mm,
able to come in and swing his financial muscle around because there weren't any checks and balances. That is the reason. And the truth is, whether we like to talk about it or not, he didn't do it all legitimately either.
mm,
Because our situation with the 75 charges isn't, we're not doing what Man City are doing. We're not saying, oh, actually, we found these things, but we don't think they're a problem. We're saying, look, we found these 75 things and they're not okay. Do you know what I mean? There's an admittance instantly. So, look, I love Roman as a Roman and as an owner and a football guy. Of course I do. But the truth of the fact is, we don't want massive corrupt owners to come in now and under the under the table deals and stuff. It has to be to keep football fair and reasonable across the board. I think that's how it has to be for everyone. All right, let's see. Car Mafia got a couple of interesting ones. These aren't regular kids, they're the best in their age group. That is true to an extent. We've definitely got some of the best youngsters. Clean out the centre backs and rebuild that area. Sell Delap and Garnacho for profit and upgrade on left wing. We aren't too far off. I'm willing to give Delap the benefit of the doubt until the end of next season, I think, if I'm completely honest, because I do think there could be something there. I think he's been really unfortunate with injuries. And I think that also he was unfortunate. I don't think he suited Maresca's style of football at all.
no.
I think if we look, from what we looked at with that diagram of the areas of dominance, he was just never going to get the ball.
I feel like Maresca's style of football needed a false nine, not a
Yeah,
number nine.
yeah,
Like I just couldn't see any striker really working with that system because you sort of you suffocated the striker
yeah,
unless you had a one that was really good in the air.
yeah, yeah.
So
And I know Liam Delap's a big guy, but he's not been
Not
particularly
amazing in the air, no.
aerially dominant, has he? Right, one more from Carmafia. 40k stadium plus PSR equals wage structure. Our margin of error is smaller than other top four teams, yet we've won two trophies and made 3 finals since. So, yeah, and that's the thing. You've got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture sometimes, haven't you? It's like, I think, the negativity is still largely based on that run of games we went on where we didn't win. We won 2 games in 9 or 10, and it was like Everton and Cardiff, and things feel really bad from there. But I think if you look at like where we are now, do you know what I mean? Things are just looking a lot better. And like I say, before that run, we were second in the Premier League. So results matter more than anything, is what I'm saying. Basically, I think if we keep on getting these results, this negativity will dissipate. That's just the truth, isn't it? And when we're not getting the results, I don't feel like people are giving Enzo Maresca enough stick for the results. I feel like the conversation is still largely surrounding Blueco, and that isn't me defending Blueco. That's me because I've admitted, we've talked about the problems with the model and stuff. But in terms of getting results out of your team, Maresca for me was a massive proponent and the reason that we went on such a bad run.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's the manager's job to get the best out of the players to produce the performance on the pitch. The overarching factor of it is this was their guy. This was the guy that they had deemed was the right guy to take these players to the next step and to get Chelsea back to where they were.
Yeah.
And he failed. So
Yeah. Well, he didn't until he did, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but in terms of
trophies, and we were second in the Premier League, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was for me. It was him throwing his toys out of the pram. That's kind of personally, and it's difficult to see that when you're interviewing someone, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah, but again, it's like anything. Like when a company fails, it's the top that they look at, not the people that have generally caused the problem, which could trickles further down the system. It's always the person that's made the overarching decision, and the overarching decision was made by the club to bring in this guy. He's walked away. Now they're sort of starting from scratch again. Not from scratch in terms of the process, but in terms of
the fact he walked
seeing
away.
if this guy's going to do it.
The fact he walked away from 14 million is another massive telling point for me as well, because it's just like you never see that, man. Look at Ten Hag. Ten Hag dug his heels in until he got sacked. Do you know what I mean? For Maresca to walk away when he had a contract almost says that he just wasn't up to the task. So I agree with you in terms of like.
Do you think maybe there's something in the contracts, because Poch also walked away by mutual consent?
I think there is a difference there, because Poch was on a 1+1, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And Poch's thing, he only got given a 2-year deal. Graham Potter got a 7-year deal. Maresca got a 5-year deal. Mazzini's got a 6.5-year deal, but Pochettino only got a 2-year deal. So I'm pretty sure there was something in his contract that said,
at the end of the season.
At the end of the season, we can walk if you want, and we'll call it quits. I think there's probably that in every contract where they can, if the manager agrees, they can do this. Do you know what I mean? And we've seen it with players and stuff before. Like, you remember Willian when he left Arsenal, he didn't take his money. He was like, no, it's cool. Just he didn't fight for the contract or whatever. Unlike Raheem Sterling, so I don't even necessarily think that's the thing. I think there's probably termination clauses in every contract, but when there's so much money on the line, most people just. I mean, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't. You'd be like, no, I'm sticking around until you sack me because I want the money. But for me, Maresca could have stuck around and got poor performances until he got sacked and got paid 14 mil. But he decided not to do that. He decided to walk away without taking nothing. And that, for me, shows he's kind of even got less about him than Ten Hag did. Do you know what I mean? Because at least Ten Hag was like, I'm not going anywhere, mate. I'm not going anywhere. So, it's an unusual, man. It's an unusual one. Kamafia says... Oh, actually, no. First got one from Omar. Oh, sorry. It's the Americanization of football. It's a way of implementing a salary cap as they have here in all major sports except baseball. And after next season, they are talking about a labour stoppage. So, yeah, that's just kind of what we were talking about, isn't it? Like, things are going to change soon and players aren't going to be able to earn $500,000. Do you know what I mean? Like Donnarumma is at the moment. Kamafia, teams cannot operate on losses anymore, even if they have the richest owners in sports like Newcastle. That's true, because it has to be based on your club's
what they bring
income.
in, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Omar, is the magic coming back to our Brazilian players under Liam? Seems that Maresca's style relied more on the system, which is why he was rigid in making changes. Liam seems more proactive with changes. I've talked about this a little bit already, but yeah, I think so 100%. I think for me, I'll let Kai's much better at the tactic stuff than I am, so I'll let him answer this for me in a second. But I think Liam Rosinia uses his system as a guideline and will let the players express themselves within that guideline. But I think Maresca was doggedly tactical to the point. You kind of like Maurizio Sarri was. Do you know what I mean? It's like, when you're in this position, I want you to do this thing. I don't want you to make decisions for yourself. I want you to do what I tell you to in certain forms of play. It's a lot more for a player to take on, doesn't it? And that does hamper freedom. What do you think, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, I made this comment early on the season that will Maresca coach the magic out of the players. You remember me saying that?
Yeah.
Because I could see it. I could see it after the.
Yeah, you were right, man. 100%.
Because it was a press conference. I think it was the West Ham game. I'm pretty sure Esteval picked up the ball close to the halfway line, got tackled, and then I think Paqueta scored. And Maresca come out in his press conference and not too harshly, but was slating him, going, he needs to learn. You basically, you can't do those kind of things. You're going to get caught out in a league like this. And immediately I was like, shut up. Don't say that.
Yeah.
These kind of players you need in your team, that they produce the magic. They can create something from nothing. What you do not do as a coach is coach that magic out of them. Make your system too rigid that it's not allowing any freedom. That's why I personally think Cole Palmer, not just because of his injury, even last season, struggled a bit because he was almost like shackled to the position.
Yeah.
So
it looked like that this season a lot, didn't it?
Liam seems to be providing a bit more freedom to the forward line, especially I think João Pedro's playing. João Pedro's doing things a lot quicker.
Yeah,
he is not holding on the ball as long.
No.
When he's turning, it's a couple of touches, pass, shooting. I mean, when last did we see him take a long range shot?
Yeah. I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Because he can hit a ball. We've all seen it.
Yeah.
So it does. It feels like he's structuring the defense. Although he's tinkering with it a little bit, he's trying to structure the defense. I can definitely see the structure in the midfield. I can see exactly. You're having Caicedo and Santos dropping in to support the back line, especially when we're playing out from the back. But when he gets to the attacking line, he's gone, do something, make something happen, and that's what it looks like. He's taken the shackles off them and going, look, play with freedom, make something happen, which is the best thing. But then you also look at a player like Neto, who for me is a very systematic player. You stick him to a system, tell him what his job is, he'll do that job. That's why he looks so good tracking back defensively, because he suited the system, he suited that type of tactic. And now he's been given freedom, he looks like he doesn't know what to do with it.
That's a really interesting chart, man. Really, I didn't even think about the Neto thing, but that totally makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's like, I don't think Liam Rosinia, like for instance, Pochettino's system was basically freedom based, wasn't it? Almost entirely. Do you know what I mean? I remember Caicedo coming out and saying, "Oh, it was a bit weird with Pochettino because when I was with De Zerbi, it was tactics, but Pochettino was just like just run in training and go out and play football." I think Rosinia is somewhere like between Pochettino and Maresca by the looks of things, isn't it?
Yeah, potentially,
And the thing is, there's no point in buying these flashy, magical Brazilian players and these throwbacks like Cole Palmer. If you go, look, for me, it always comes back to Jack Grealish at City, doesn't it? Like Jack Grealish was a wizard, absolute maverick of a footballer, loads of ability, loads of skill, free, natural, quick thinking player who almost always made the right decision. And then Maresca said, "Run down the byline and cut in, and that's all I want you to do." And then that's the thing, isn't it? And maybe Raheem Sterling's a good example of that as well, because maybe Raheem Sterling was a bit like Pedro Neto, where he really played well when he had a specific set of instructions. Because what we saw from Raheem Sterling under Pochettino He tried to take on too much by himself, didn't he? And he wasn't kind of good enough to do it. So yeah, that's a really interesting shout and a great question as well. In general about the Brazilian magic, because Kai called this ages ago, man. He was like, I don't know if it was on stream or whether we were just having a chat, but you were like, I'm worried that Maresca's coaching the magic out of the team, and it stuck in my head ever since, man. And you are 100% right. You called that, and like I say, I think the best thing that we can have is someone who it's freedom within a framework, isn't it? To use a quite corporate expression at the end of the day, it's like you can do what you want within this framework, rather than I need you to do this job like this and this
I
job
can
like
pretty
this.
much see it that he's gone final third, magic.
Yeah,
Up until that point, tactical. This is how I want you to play. This is how I want you to move. 100% the instruction for me going through to the likes of Santos and Caicedo is first thought, turn. Can you play through the lines? Can you get it to the striker? If you can't, then you go wide. Where Maresca it was, go wide.
yeah.
Can't go, turn back, start again.
So
We're seeing a lot more of those cutting passes go through. So yeah, that at least that's what it looks like. Again, we've got a good portion of the season left to make a total judgment. I still, though I said I'd give him till the end of January before I started like proper tearing his tactics. We're pretty much there already, but I can see a few differences already.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like I say, the Napoli game for me was the first time that I'd seen us play in a way that I was like, oh, look, it looks like there's kind of an idea coming here. But at the same time, he's just had no time. I think getting through to the round of 16 for the championship is the Champions League, sorry, is going to be transformative, because it gives him 2 weeks with an entire week to work with his squad. And that I think is going to make a huge difference. So I think February is when we're going to start seeing it a little bit. And what I like about Rosenior is he's taken risks and tried stuff and reverted as soon as he's seen it's not working. And that is something that Maresca didn't always do.
Biggest thing he did against Napoli was bringing on, well, Cole Palmer changed the game in terms of the attack in front, in terms of fixing the shape and the fact that we're just bringing on Chalobah straight away. It just fixed the whole organisation of the squad. And I mentioned I was on a stream with a Man United fan from a Spill the Tea, and I find that a lot of rival fans seem to like Liam, and one of the things is because he's a smooth talker, man. He talks well.
He's a geezer, mate.
He's a geezer. It's nice to, you can understand him, like the point that he's getting across. Not to say that Maresca wasn't good with his English. I think he spoke quite well, but I get his points. He seems to be doing things the right way. He seems to be putting an arm around a player, getting the players on his side, because again, we've said before, he doesn't have the winning trophies behind him. So what he needs to do is he needs to almost like be a friend to him, kind of thing, and take him out, because they were on a dip. They were on a downward spiral, dark place. They were pretty much all probably feeling like we were at the time. And he needed to get them back on while navigating the press. I think one of the best things he could have done, which has probably made things a little bit easier for him from the press's point of view, is the first conference going in, shaking everybody's hand.
Yeah,
I bet that stunned a lot of them.
For sure.
So he's played the game. He's played the game well from all really fronts. So he's doing well from the the playing perspective and the game perspective. Yes, there's been some really, really dead performances, but he's getting results. I'm starting to see some good things, some good performances, some good halves of football, which is good. It's coming nice and quick, and the winning is going to help, because confidence breeds, and when you're confident, you play better. So he seems to be doing things, and he's going down the right path. And long may it continue. Again, I still think it's a bit early to give any sort of judgment on him just yet, but he's doing all right at the moment, I think.
I think we can't judge. You can only really judge a manager after 6 months minimum, can't you?
Yeah.
To be completely honest. But I think we can look at what's happening. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, I'm not down for saying, it's all just luck, or it all could just be luck or anything.
Well,
No, he has come in and he's created an environment that has changed something that we have been struggling with for the last 18 months, which is beating teams we're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Even the Paphos game is a great example of this, because we won against a low block and we found a moment
Yeah.
and broke through, and we kept going mentally. They kept going, they kept going, they kept going. That's been such a problem for such a long time now. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying even that Liam Rosinia is better than Maresca, because I agree with you. It's too early to say anything like that. But I think I think it's reasonable to be gravitating towards the idea that it could very quickly turn out to be that way. And this is kind of what I said.
He's shown that he's improved some players already. I mean, for
Yeah,
me, João Pedro looks a completely different
yeah,
player.
100%, 100%.
Completely different.
Andre Santos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Literally.
the difference with Andre Santos is we didn't really see him this season to
Well,
say
yeah,
that
but
he's
even
changed so
when
much, but he's playing more in
even
it.
when
And
we did, do you know what I mean? Even when we
yeah,
did, and he's come in and been, and he's played in every game. Do you know what I mean? He's played in
yeah,
literally every game, and he's come in and been a really important part to our squad.
mm,
Yoro Hato has been relied upon a few times.
yeah,
You know, Reece James has been played in a few different positions, but is still playing well. The centre back situation is a little bit worrying, of course. That's it's one of them, isn't it? Marco Correa is still not back to his best. Moises Caicedo also still not back to his best.
yeah,
To be honest, that is one thing that I will be interested to see, is because there was a point at this season where Marco Correa and Moises Caicedo were unplayable. Do you know what I mean? And under Enzo Maresca, I'll give him
yeah,
credit for that 100%. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get coax those same level of performances out of those players that Maresca was able to. But the whole team, this is the thing, wasn't it? Like, the whole team looks better now. Our attackers look better.
yeah,
Jamie Gittins looks better. Do you know what I mean? Liam Delap looked better under Callum McFarlane. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? Just from giving him that little bit of freedom and stuff. So yeah, I do think that's really interesting. Right. So Mason says, we saw the same with Amarim. He came out swinging against Ineos, but he still made sure he got his severance. I wonder if Maresca had a bit of ego by the end. 100%, man, 100%. That's the thing. Like, look, it's just what happens. You get sacked and get your bag. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Enzo Maresca, for me, signed up to the model and then started complaining about the model. It's like, bro, this is literally what you signed up for. So this is one thing, isn't it? It's like you said, you said earlier in the stream today, like, oh yeah, and they thought he was the yes man. And like, yeah, that's because they would have presented him with the model, said, this is how it's going to be. Can you work under this? And he said, yes, 100%, absolutely, just to get the job. And all of a sudden, he's won a couple of trophies and decided that he now changes how it works. You can't do that, man. Do you know what I mean? You can't do that. It's not like if he'd have won the Premier League, okay, maybe there's a conversation to be
Different
had.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But winning the cut, like, don't get me wrong, the thing, winning the Club World Cup is a great accolade, but realistically, the only really challenging game in that entire competition was going to be PSG, wasn't it? We had the easiest run. PSG had to play Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid, I think, on the way to the final against us. We had a really easy run. So respect to him for winning it, and I'm really glad we won it. But ultimately, it was like another Conference League up until that point, essentially, bar Benfica. Maybe Benfica were the next most difficult game that we played there. So it's not like you've played 38 games and won the Premier League. So for me, it was just a bit annoying that Maresca's said, yes, I'm your man. Yes, I will play under this thing. And then he's decided at one point, it's like, I won the Club World Cup, so now I'm going to change. I'm not going to stick to the job description anymore. I don't think that's an issue they'll see with Liam Rosinia. I think Liam Rosinia likes the idea of the model, to be honest, because he's up for...
It's, and we said this at the start, it's not new. It's not new to him. He's
No.
been doing this for the last almost 2 years now at Strasbourg, where, and if not in a worse environment, because he's had his players ripped and tore. Oh, this season we're taking these 2 players from you and we're going to give you these 5 other kids that we don't want anymore. Have a go with them. And so he's been in a worse environment. So he's probably looking at it going, oh, you know what? It's probably going to be easier now.
And I like the fact that he's pushing for Jacquet. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that defeats this narrative. Like, and I've said this in my videos, man. I think if Maresca was still here, he'd be getting a centre-back. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that Rosinia's come in with less credit in the bank than Maresca had as far as being a Chelsea manager goes, and is now getting all of this special attention that Maresca wasn't going to get. Do you know what I mean? I think that they would have looked to fix things for Maresca in January if he'd have stuck around, but he decided to walk. So at the end of the day, Liam Rosinia's profiting out of that now. And do you know what? I don't think we'd have won this 5 out of these last 6 games if Maresca was still in
No.
charge. So, can only be happy that we have. Right, this is an interesting one from Camafia. Maresca would have subbed off João Pedro and Esteval before Neto versus Napoli. That's
Yeah, he would have.
100% true, isn't it? That's literally 100%
He
true.
would have.
Really, really interesting. One from Omar here. I must say I'm impressed with Liam's approach on connecting with each player individually and establishing a personal relationship. I loved. Did you see the moment with João Pedro yesterday?
I was literally about to say it where he
Mate,
ruined
the
his
feels, man, the
yeah.
feels. It's just, and
Yeah.
it's so nice, man, isn't it? It's so nice to see a relationship, and
I even like the fact that he did the whole bowing down to the things to the fans. Like, as I said, he's doing the right things to get the right people on the right side. The main thing is he needed to get all the players on the side, and he's doing that. He seems to have this approach, that press conference, or not the little post-match presser that he was having, ton of video with João Pedro. It's a good moment to share. And it builds a bond with the players, which, you could look back at Maresca. And I don't want to talk too much about Maresca, to be honest, because it's the past now.
Yeah.
But is this something that
That was like a couple of weeks ago.
he was doing? Was he built? Yeah, I say that post then about to talk about him some more. But was he actually doing that with those players? Was he, building a real connection with them? Some of them maybe, yes. You could say.
I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? It's like, I don't think Pep is that kind of manager either.
No.
If I'm completely honest, do you know what I mean? And I don't think, I think that you need, it's not a huge amount of thing, but I've got a bit of management experience in working before. And the way I used to manage was by making personal connections with people, because when you have that, when you're telling someone, you're having a hard conversation with someone about needing to improve or not being good enough, or, do you know what I mean? If you're doing a review or something, it's easier to do that when there's like, look, we can be mates and we can chill and whatever, and we can, I'll protect you, from customers or whatever it is. And then, but the trade-off for that is, when we need to have a real conversation, we're going to have a real conversation, and you're going to pay attention to it. Do you know what I mean? So, if anything, I see a little bit of that from what Rosini is doing. He's building up this thing now, but it's not all going to be smiles and sunshine all of the time.
No. Well, but and I feel like with him, that is going to be behind closed doors where it should be. We're not going to see.
Yeah. None of this throwing players under the, and mate, I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it.
Because you can also tell with him, like, he has, he is relishing this opportunity to be at such a big club with such big players. Yeah, for him, this is, a dream come true, and and so it should be. At the end of the day, like, this is, it's the best club in the world.
I saw
so.
I watched a TalkSport thing with Jim White today talking about Jim White and Simon Jordan talking about Steven Gerrard was asked about Liam Rosinia, and Simon Jordan was saying I think Steven Gerrard was talking about Liam Rosinia through gritted teeth, like with a bit of jealousy and stuff. And it is true, isn't it? Like, I'm not saying Gerrard, I wouldn't have wanted Gerrard as the manager, do you know what I mean? But I just mean there will be a lot of people looking at Liam Rosinia in this job being like, hold on a second, that's not how this works. How have you got that job? And it's partly because of the model. Do you know what I mean? Because of the way things that works. And, we've kind of seen it before where you see an academy manager take the step up and stuff like that. Like Brentford, their set piece manager becomes their head coach. It's kind of like that, isn't it? It is. And it's not a bad idea to look to promote from within. But saying that, I don't want Gary Neal to be the next guy. Gary O'Neill, do you know what I mean?
My whole thing, and again, it said this, like, Strasbourg would be more than just a player.
Yeah.
Player playground to develop players. It will also be a manager. However, I'm slightly concerned about who the manager is there now.
I mean, he is doing well. Do you know what I mean? He is doing well, but no part of me would like to see Gary O'Neill as the next Chelsea manager. Do you know what I mean? I'll definitely
and it's weird, though, because, I mean, it might have been because of the teams he was at. And does his style of football even remotely resemble what? Because Rosinia and Maresca, there's a closeness to it. It's not a million miles away, but you can't tell me Gary O'Neill's style of football
Rosinia was in the job before Maresca was. So I think that's
Yeah.
probably by luck more than anything that they had similar
Mm.
styles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Rosini is the longest serving Blueco manager since they took over football, since they got into football. Do you know what I mean? He's kept his job the
Yeah.
longest. The interesting thing about that, though, is that is what Todd Boehly always wanted. Because Todd Boehly, when he took over the Dodgers, he hired their manager,
Yeah. He's
and
been
that's
there for like
like
donkey's years, isn't he?
13 years
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? So longevity in the management position was always part of the initial remit. It just seems crazy that we went through so many in such a short space of time. So let's get back to some of these comments, because you guys have got loving the interaction today, by the way, guys. And I've done it again. I've gotten this far into the stream and I haven't mentioned it. If any of you haven't clicked the like button yet, please give us a little clickaroo. I always forget, man. I need to start like setting a timer or something when we do these things. I just get
Got
too into
15.
it.
Not bad.
Oh yeah, that is good. That is good. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Consider we've
Nice.
not asked for anything.
So, Carmafia, the games haven't been pretty for 90 minutes, but Rosinia's in-game adjustments and early subs have impacted every game. 100%, 100%. Like
I do.
if
I
we-
did like the. Go on, you go first. I was going to say about the
if-
Gittins one.
if we'd have drawn yesterday,
Hmm.
then that all we would have talked about was the starting lineup. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't
Yes.
have talked about the subs and whatever. You know, all that we would have talked about was Reece
Yeah.
James and centre back, 3 fullbacks, in the defence. Do you know what I mean? But because he made those adjustments and those changes throughout the game, obviously we won it. But ultimately, you know, it draws attention to that, doesn't it? So yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. And I was to say like the Jamie Gittins thing. I love that.
What for Badia Shield?
It's hard. Of course, it's harsh on the player, of course, because
Yeah.
he's not had much minutes. But we've gone 3-2 up. We want to win because we want to qualify automatically.
Yeah.
It's getting to the dire minutes of the game. You know, I think it was like the 80-something minute that it comes.
Yeah. Wasn't
He
it?
needs to shore it up to see the game out. Takes off an attacker, brings on a defender. Game
And at the
management, love
At
that.
the end of the day, if he'd have swapped him out for someone else to play on the wing, then that'd have been like, what you doing? But like you say, it was an obvious tactical substitution. Winger, centre back,
Yeah.
shore up, defend more. 100%. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Um,
and I also don't think Gittins is going to be pissed off about it. I think he, you know, when he maybe initially, but when he's come off,
Yeah.
he's probably gone. Look, it's just because we want to show up thing. So I read too much into it, but I like the fact that he is not afraid to do those things to
Yeah.
shore it up. He understands, when it's important. You just got to get the win, regardless of how.
You've got to be annoyed, and you've got to look annoyed, because if you're not looking
Yeah.
annoyed, it shows you don't want it enough. Do you know what I mean? So if
Yeah,
anything,
exactly.
you know, Jamie Gittins looking frustrated is weirdly a positive thing in that respect.
Yeah.
From Mason, I'm typically someone who wants to see good results and good performances, but I've even said in my reviews that Liam's first 10 matches are solely about results for me. So guys, if any of you are around, Blues and Stripes is Mason. He's a Chelsea content creator as well, so hop over to his channel. He does really good match reviews and previews. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not the first 10 matches for me. It's the rest of the season. Like for me, the rest of the season, I don't care.
Yeah.
I would love to see the beginnings of a style of football. Don't get me wrong. I'm a football fan. Of course, I want to see fun attacking football and I want to enjoy watching it. But for me, the rest of the season is about 100% about results. You know,
Get us in Champions League, win us a cup,
man.
whatever you can. Just keep winning.
If we win every single game 1-0 until the end of the season, I won't be like ecstatic about the football I'm watching, but I'll be buzzing about the results, and that is much more important to me. I think. What do you reckon, Guy?
Yeah, that's it. He's just do what needs to do by any means necessary. We go into next season. You got a whole pre-season then to sort it out. Squad, maybe a bit of shuffling. It's going to happen. We've done it every summer.
Yeah.
So, and then we can look at kicking on next season. But right now, just win by any means necessary.
Yeah,
And
100%,
that's the main thing.
couple of interesting
Obviously,
ones.
he's gonna put some of his tactical thing around because he's gonna have them training. Yeah, but I'm not expecting
Needs
it
time, though,
to
doesn't
blow
it?
me
That's the
away.
thing.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to
Um,
blow me away.
He doesn't. You know, we will. Ostensibly, we will probably get launched out of one of the 3 cups that we're in at some point, which will create some more time as well. So I imagine that the tactic side will speed up over the rest of the season. Omar, And the presser with Moy saying it's scary sitting next to one of the best defending midfielders in the world. Like, yeah, that's cool, man. I
Yeah.
do like that. And, it shows that he's a football fan as much as anything as well, doesn't it? Which is cool.
Yeah.
How about that clown Carragher having to eat his words since we qualified in the top 8 in the
Oh,
UCL and have
Carragher,
beaten the
what a
champions of
numpty.
England, Spain, France, and Italy? Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Champions of England, man. We didn't beat Man City this season, did we?
Beat Liverpool. They're champions of England.
Correct. Yeah, that's true, man. Anything Chelsea related that puts a frown on Jamie Carragher's face is just a win, isn't it?
It just
Absolutely.
hates us. It's just
A big
feelings
one
mutual,
now.
Carragher. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that now.
Garvey, welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you. Just give me a comeback against Arsenal in the Carabao. So
100%.
we're gonna do probably there. I mean, is that next week?
I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look.
Is it next Wednesday?
Yes, it is. No, Tuesday. Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Oh, are you around?
Watch along, mate.
Yeah,
Watch
should we do a
along.
watch
We've
along?
got to do it.
Yeah. All right. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Me and Kai are going to do a watch along for the Arsenal game. 100%. Yeah, definitely. So I won't do too much of it because me and Kai are probably both going to do previews about the game as well. But at the end of the day, just in terms of your comment, Garvey, yeah, man. And do you know what? Genuinely, I believe it can happen. I'm not going to go too in depth about it. But what everyone is talking about at the moment is, yes, Arsenal are doing well and their season has been good, but they have got one of the worst attacks in the top 4. Well, maybe the worst attack in the top 4, actually. I think it's 1 goal in 11 games for Leandro Trossard, 0 in 10 for Bukayo Saka. I think Gyökeres has scored 6, and all of their goals are coming from their defenders and their midfielders. So at the end of the day, we need to worry about the set piece thing. But if our attack turns up, do you know what I mean? If our attack turns up as it has been recently, like, we could get something out of this game, and I genuinely believe that. It's an uphill struggle, but we're gonna want it more than they do, I think. Do you know what I mean? Because they want to win the Premier
I feel
League.
like they're focused on the Prem, even focused on the Prem and the Champs.
Yeah.
Because they haven't won that either. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I think
And I
we're
don't
gonna
write
want
us up
this
in
more
any
than them.
comp anyway.
No, especially not a cup. Yeah.
Corner FC, yeah,
Corner
100%.
FC. No, the thing is, man, like, you know, what is good and bad. It's bad that we had to use that game to test Robert Sanchez playing in that way to realise it doesn't work. But ever since, he's been great. Do you know what I mean? Ever since, he's been great. So, and obviously, also, Liam Rosenior has just tried an experiment against quite a big team with Reece James playing at centre-back. That also didn't work. You know, we got cut open. Do you know what I mean? So I expect he's going to be learning from all of these little mistakes. Do you know what I mean? So I imagine that we're going to go into that game with a solid back 4 of, I imagine, Fofana, Chalobah, Reece James, Cucurella, Sanchez.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, you know, we need to win by, it's got to be a 2-0, isn't it? It has to be. Or if it's a 1-0, then it'll go to penalties.
Yeah.
Does it go straight to penalties now, or do they do extra time?
I think so. I think, I'm pretty sure they got rid of extra time. I think
I
it
miss
just goes
golden
straight
goal,
to pens.
man.
Back in the day.
Yeah, mate, brilliant. So what we will talk about a little bit is the West Ham game tomorrow, because I always do this. I've on the thumbnail I've put this down as being a West Ham preview, and we have literally not talked about West Ham at all. I'll just quickly put this comment up from Mason. I'm pretty proud of my prediction about them from the beginning of the season. I did put them in 4th, but I said Gyökeres wouldn't get 12 goals this season. He's on 10 in all comps, 5 in the Premier League. I had a bet going with an Arsenal fan. I said that I think João Pedro will score more goals than Gyökeres this season, and so far I'm winning that one.
João Pedro has done the best than above any other summer signing so far.
That's
this
true. Yeah,
so far.
Sesko's not scoring, is he?
Yeah.
Who-
And I think that was
he's
before
like
the Napoli game.
Ekitike? What's Ekitike on?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's have a look. I'll have a quick
In
look.
terms of goal, I think it's goal involvements.
Yeah, he's got 3-4 assists as well, isn't he, João Pedro?
Yeah. I think he
Let's
was
have
on
a
the... I want to say he was on... So... Stats this season.
Ekitike, right?
Well, it's going to be tight between him and Ekitike, I think.
So he scored 8 goals and he's got 2 assists in the Premier League. But I can look at actually just this season.
He's got 2, 10,
25,
11,
26.
12 goals.
13 goals
12
and 4
goals.
assists. So Ekitike
Yeah,
currently
so
on 13 goals, 4 assists. But he's
it's going to be
great.
tight.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, but at the end of the day, like that's that shows you that João Pedro is only just behind Ekitike, and Ekitike's been a lot more consistent throughout the season, hasn't he? So if João Pedro, I mean, he scored 3 and 2. Do you know what I mean? João Pedro's literally scored 3 and 2, and all of a sudden he's on 12 goals and 3 assists, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
João Pedro.
So yeah, it's just one of them, innit, man? But I think we're going to start seeing the best from João Pedro again.
He's all comps.
Yeah.
11 goals, 4 assists, so 14 goal involvements.
Okay, so yeah, he's 2 goals behind Ekitike this season. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, 14 goal involvements. That's that's in and around Jackson levels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Already, he's still half a season left.
Half a season left. So because Jackson's best return is 14, isn't it? In a Chelsea shirt. That was his first season. Got 14 in his first season, 12.
Yeah.
In his second season. So already it looks like João Pedro is going to outperform Jackson, which is good. Yeah, I love that.
As long as he keeps it up.
West Ham. Let's talk about West Ham. I'm gonna bring up their page actually.
You're forever blowing.
Their form has been better recently. They are not quite as. Okay, so West Ham. So they beat Sunderland 3-1 in their last game. They beat Tottenham 2-1 before that, and they beat QPR before that. So they have won their last 3 games. QPR was the FA Cup, West Ham and Tottenham is Prem. So that's Sunderland and Tottenham. So that's pretty good. Do you know what I mean? For them to be beating a Sunderland team that we've struggled with this season, and I mean, Tottenham's Tottenham, innit? At the end of the day,
everyone beats Tottenham.
But we should absolutely be going into this game winning. Do you know what I mean? Just absolutely. Yeah. We it should be free. For me, this is not going to be harder than the Crystal Palace game, I think.
No.
So let's have a little look at this. Is their formation for their last game. Just to look at the players, because we don't do this when we talk about when we do previews and stuff. Let's make it a little bit more visually interesting. Right, so Somerville. Is that for now? I can't even see it. It's so small. Hold on, I'm going to bring it over. Right. Oh, do you know what? I don't even know half of their players, man. If I'm completely honest, I'm looking at this now, and I'm like, I genuinely don't recognise the majority of these players. So I know Jared Bowen's a good player.
Somerville seems to be doing all right for them the last few games.
Yeah,
cropping up some goals.
Yeah, Rosinia said about that, didn't he, in the previews? Like Somerville's a good player.
Yeah.
I don't know who that M Fernandez is, to be honest. It's interesting that they've just bought not Jared Bowen, Adama Traore. Like when their wings seem pretty good, to be honest, don't they? So that's an interesting one. But
maybe they're thinking about playing him up front.
Do you reckon?
Bit of pace and yeah, he's a beast, isn't he? Adama Traore is massive.
Really quite short though.
Yeah, but if they're looking at playing, because most teams that West Ham are going to come up against not really going to play against a low block, are they? Generally.
No, that's true.
So balls in behind, not many people are going to keep up with Adama Traore.
Because Adama Traore,
maybe they do play him with Wigan.
He's had a really weird career, hasn't he? Strange career, because he was obviously...
It was Barcelona at one point, or did he go Barcelona?
Yeah, he did. He was on loan at Barcelona for a season, half a season, something like that, and he did pretty well over there. And then I don't even know where he's coming from now, because he was obviously kind of at Wolves, did really well. Fulham, is it Fulham? And they've just bought Oscar Bob.
Barca, then Fulham.
Yeah, and now he's over to West Ham. So yeah, a bit of a strange career. I mean, to go from Wolves to Barcelona, like that's a bit mad.
He's Spanish, isn't he? Spanish.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Was he not a Barcelona Academy product? Actually, saying that, is he not a La Masia player? Yeah. I do think it was unusual, because again, he doesn't look like their particular type of player. But what this needs to be, and Rosinius again said it perfectly in his pre-match press conference, is this is not going to be an easy game. If the players can't let their guard down because of that result in Napoli, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 100%. It
Don't get
needs to
carried
be.
away.
Yeah. It needs to be treat every single game individually as every individual game, and Liam Rosini will learn from his mistakes, and hopefully. And this is one of the scary things about having such a young team, isn't it? It's like, maybe all letting it get to their heads or whatever. Daniel, thank you. We are on 16 likes. That's pretty good, man. That's not bad to say. I literally haven't asked for anything. So yeah, appreciate you all. Thanks very much for that. I need to make like a little thing, don't I, that reminds me regularly, like ask people for likes. It's just so weird, man. I just like talking about football. I forget about all of the other stuff, really. But yeah, there's not a huge amount to preview with the West Ham game, to be honest, is there? Like when you look at it in a nutshell, Nuno's doing better than Graham Potter did. He's got a tune out of him for the last 3 games, so they will feel like they can come and get something out of it, even if it's just a point. I wouldn't be surprised to see them play for a draw. But we've got Super João Pedro, mate. Best striker in the Premier League.
Exactly. I feel as he's come out and said Cole Palmer's fit enough to start.
Yeah.
So do I think he's going to start?
I think he will.
Probably. I'd like him to start. I think Napoli,
Start
good
him
confidence booster.
on the
Done all
right,
right.
Esteval on the left, or do we skip Esteval for the keep him fresh for the Arsenal game?
I think he's gonna rest Esteval.
I think Cole Palmer might not
maybe
start
even-
the Arsenal game.
That's the thing. If he starts West Ham, he probably won't start Arsenal.
Oh, Dodgers bomber.
Bomber.
Good job. I've got Twitter up. Let's have a look.
What we saying?
Chelsea Dodgers. 3 minutes. Get ready for crazy hours around Jeremy Jacquet. Chelsea still pushing, but Liverpool still trying. Ren position clear. Sell now for summer. They don't need the money now. Right, well, that's probably going to be the Mamadou Sarr thing then, isn't it? And 6 minutes ago, Chelsea are discussing internally whether to recall Mamadou Sarr if they can find a good solution for Aaron Anselmino. Interesting. So, yeah, because we talked about that quite a lot tonight. So, yeah, that seems to be the
consensus,
R9.
yeah.
R9, is that a thing? Is that a Twitter page, or are we just dropping Ronaldo in there?
Always got to drop a Ronaldo every now and again.
There's 2 pages called R9, and they're both verified. That's not a football page. That's one? No? I don't know. Not sure about that. So, Jeremy Jacquet, if it looks like it's going to be for the summer, I'm not particularly bothered. But I mean, because what it looks like, I think I do see the Liverpool angle, because I see Bayern Munich going in for Konate, and then Liverpool going in for Jeremy
And obviously
Jacquet.
Liverpool lost out on Gurley, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they're going to be looking, because their centre backs look washed. Both of them do.
Yeah, 100%. It's a weird one, isn't it? So it's like, I keep saying it, like I wouldn't want to see us go in for Jacquet just to bring him in the summer. But I'm not gonna lie to you, if he goes to Liverpool for the summer, and then he comes in and is really good, I will be annoyed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will be like, oh, why didn't we do that?
Yeah.
It's just easy though, isn't it? When someone else is looking at your shiny thing. That
Yeah,
you want.
The thing is, you can't get everyone anyway, though, innit? I mean, I know we're trying. We're definitely trying, but we will miss out on some gems. But
So yeah,
it
it does
will
look
be.
like Mamadou Sarr. I'll just bring that tweet in. Does look like Mamadou Sarr is going to be the guy that we get.
But it's definitely going to go down to the wire, innit?
Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it? If I do that, does it make it any bigger? No, okay, that's fine.
So equals R9.
Oh right, yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Actually, I see it. Not maybe not quite as skilled, but not dissimilar. So yeah, get ready for crazy hours around Jeremy Jacquet. Chelsea still pushing, but Liverpool still trying. Ren position clear. Sell now for summer. They don't need the money now. At the end of the day, though, it's like if he pushes for the move, do you know what I mean? If he's like, because that's what
The thing is, I'm sure you said earlier that he wants Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
look,
and
that's
you know,
this one. Jamie Jacquet only wants to sign for Chelsea. Personal terms have been fully agreed. Both Chelsea and Rennes are playing on Saturday evening. Expect developments after the games. That was another one we saw. Just a quick one from Daniel here. Any news on the sponsorship? It's embarrassing not having a sponsor on the shirt. I don't think we'll see anything until next
I've got
season.
some news for you, Daniel.
Have you?
Still no sponsor, mate. News dead. Honestly, it is ridiculous. I don't get it.
Mate, I'll sponsor him. Put the Stamford sink on there, mate. Stamford sink. Put behind the dugouts as a sleeve sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
It's a quid.
Yeah, I'll pay it. It'd be more than what they're getting, so it's worth it. But no, it's one of the more stupider decisions that they are going about at the moment.
Yeah. They've
I
got
just
to rectify it next season. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, personally, I've been loving the look of the shirts without a sponsor.
I know. Look, it looks great, but the money that it generates.
Yeah, we are just leaving so much money on the table, man. It's crazy, isn't it? I need to get me one of them black ones though before the season's out, man, or before we get a sponsor.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
the black one without the sponsor. Woo! I tell you what, mate. Super chat.
Super chat.
Me and Kaya got a super chat fund for wanting to buy the Chelsea kits for before we get a sponsor. Help us out.
The black one is nice.
Yeah, it's so good.
So nice.
Yeah, it's wicked. Let's see if there's been any more developments. No,
I think it will heat up pretty much like I said. I think it will heat up after the games tomorrow.
Yeah, I reckon.
Because we still got. I'm surprised it's finishing on Monday.
Yeah, 7:00 Monday, I think.
Because Monday's the 2nd.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, it's Monday. Because it's probably harder to have the deadline day on the Sunday.
I suppose on the game day.
Yeah. 4 years, no sponsorship is embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, is it embarrassing? Is it embarrassing?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
It's 4 years because sponsors are usually 60 million a year. That's 4 years of not having 60 million.
Yeah, I know. I just I understand it's not the best business practice. Do you know what I mean? But it's just do I actually care to say enough to say it's embarrassing? Am I embarrassed for my club because we don't have a shirt sponsor?
Grassroots football have shirt sponsors, mate.
But it looks wicked, and I like watching football. Honestly, for me, there is a detachment between ultimately what I actually care about is the football. I like talking about the business stuff and I do find it interesting, but in terms of a stick to I'm not a financial expert. Do you know what I mean? I'm not into I don't follow Chelsea for the business stuff. So is it easy to look at it and say, yeah, okay, we would have had more money if we'd have got a shirt sponsor?
But then you've also got the excuses that come out, part of the PSR, we don't have money to do this. A sponsorship, it's not going to solve the problem completely, but it definitely adds a chunk of money to it to help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think it's such an easy thing to solve.
We literally ended the last transfer window in profit, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it isn't. It's one of the more easier things to rectify.
The thing is, it's a long-term commitment, though. You can't sign a deal without it being a long-term commitment. Do you know what I mean? So,
I think isn't a minimum
3 years,
4 years, something like that.
Maybe even that. It's and the last time we did it, look what happened. It was 3. It wasn't very much money, and they ended up bailing. Do you know what I mean? And it was because of the sanctions and stuff. And do you know what I mean? It's I don't know. The thing is, for me, it is an aesthetic thing. I don't want do you know what I don't like is what is it? Standard Chartered or whatever it is, the Liverpool sponsor. Every year it's the most boring looking logo and whatever on their kit, and I'm I never ever look at Liverpool's kit and I'm like, oh, that's nice. It was like when Man United had the Chevrolet sponsor. I was like, it just looks tacky. Do you know what I mean? It just looks
doesn't
tacky.
look right.
So in terms of me, I don't think it's actually been affecting our transfers. Let's be completely honest. I think we've been buying and selling players as we
Yeah.
would have done if we had a sponsor. I don't think we'd have bought or sold any more players if we'd have had a sponsor.
No.
I think it could affect us going forward because things are tightening up now. Like I get that. I understand that we're getting to the end of where we can kind of afford to get away with this, and I would expect us to go in with a shirt sponsor next season. But in terms of like, mate, we spent 300 mil in last, well,
Yeah,
not
but
last
if you
January, the January
accumulate it
before.
over the 4 years, and most of the top four clubs
Yeah.
are doing, at least the big name clubs, and even I know at Graham Potter we had an absolute terrible season, but even say before that happened, it was still okay at the start of the season. We weren't in that sort of position to start the season. It's usually around the 60 million mark. So that's 4 years of 60 million that we've lost out on.
Well,
Which,
technically, it's not because we've had two sponsors in the 4 year period.
do we know how
So
much? Yeah, but it's not.
Infinite Athlete was like
It's
15, 20 mil, something like that.
yeah,
Which is
60 though, is it?
no, but
So
but
maybe
the thing is,
three.
it's like, but
It
what
all
I'm saying,
adds up.
what would we have done with the money? Like, look at like, would we have bought more players?
Maybe.
But I don't think so, man.
I'm not questioning what we would have done with it. It's when
Yeah,
they come out with excuses going, we don't have money for this. And I'm thinking, well, you have just not
that's
for
just
the
PR
last
in it,
four
man.
years. It's just, it's like I
They're,
said, it's an easy thing to
e-
rectify.
they'd have come out and said that even if we had a sponsor.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because it's PR. That is PR.
Mm.
When they're like, why haven't you gone out and done this or whatever? They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
need something to feed the media, don't they? So this is it. My actual argument behind it is like, going forward, things are different because there's the issues with UEFA. We've now also sold so many players
Yeah,
off
we're
of the
running
books
out of
that
gas. Yeah,
we don't have that many players to sell anymore. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because we were getting rid of years worth of build up of players, as well as
Mm.
some players that have come in since Bluco come in. So going forward, I understand next season it's going to be a lot more necessary in order for us to be liquid in the transfer
Yeah.
market. Do you know what I mean? I do get that, but I don't actually think it's made a difference up until now. I don't.
No.
We spent 300 mil in January. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
I think we
we
have missed the boat in terms of optimal timing
yeah, definitely,
based on
100%.
the Club World Cup. I think that was the optimal time to push the best deal possible.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And
I agree with that.
if we finish
But
this season in a decent, in a
yeah,
decent shape,
if we get Champions League and a domestic trophy this season, that's still a good
we're
spot
still in a
to
good, in a position.
yeah
But obviously, we still got to achieve that first, where we'd won the Conference League, won the Club World Cup,
yeah
optimal timing to try and push for one, and sort of missed the boat on that one. But we'll see.
yeah
Get to the end of the season, we can't be going into next season with that one. I think that's
yeah. No, I agree with you on
yeah,
that 100%. No, I do agree with you on that. But I'm also just going to enjoy no
the
logo
shirt.
while we've got it
While we
because
do,
I
yeah,
didn't think the shirts looked better with Infinite Athlete on, and I didn't
no,
think the shirts looked better with Damak on either.
no,
So I am enjoying it from an aesthetic point of view, where I'm just
yeah,
like, oh, that's nice. It's different. It makes it stand out, and it lets the designs of the shirts sing a bit more
yeah.
as well. Do you know what I mean? Rather than we had that cool black kit. I've seen you wear it a few times, like the punky one.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the cool
the
kit.
the black and pink one, yeah,
Yeah. Like I really like that. I love all of the shirts this season, man. I love the white one, I love
yeah.
the black one, and I love the blue one. Really simple, clean, plain designs. So I quite enjoy that.
Mm.
So that was a weird way to end this one, but I think that feels like a good place to end it. Kyle, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no. Get ready for that West Ham game, mate.
Yeah, mate. So I will actually miss the game tomorrow, but I will try and catch what I can of it so I can do a faithful review later in the evening. But yeah, man, I'll definitely be interested to see what the result is and the lineup and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be in and around it for sure. I've just got a social commitment tomorrow with my partner's family are coming down, and we're going to go out for a lovely dinner at a local
Oh,
pub. It's
lovely.
going to be it's going to
Be
be very
watching the
very
football
nice.
and under the table there, and then watching the game.
Yeah,
Oh, what
well,
did you say? Sorry.
oh yeah, it's like we're going at 4:15, so I'm like, either, and we're coming back here afterwards as well, so I could probably catch a bit of the game. Do you know what I mean? I could probably
Yeah.
catch a little bit of it. But what we will do is we will do a watch along for the Arsenal game on
The
Tuesday.
Arsenal game.
100%
Yeah.
down. Yeah, that's going to be great, man. I'm
Yeah.
really, really up for that. I'll see if I can find anyone else to come and do it with us as well. Jay always does them on his own, so probably not, but we'll
Yeah.
maybe see if Mo's around or something, see if someone wants to jump on with us. It might be fun. All right, nice one, guys. 3-1 Chelsea. Dan's predicting 3-1 Chelsea. What do you think, Kai? Give us a prediction for the West Ham game.
I'm going 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going 3-0. I love that. Love that. It feels like a 3-0, doesn't it? Definitely
Yeah,
feels
it
like
feels
a
like
3-0.
3-0 game.
Thank you
Yeah.
all very much for sticking around for the third or fourth episode of the Friday Night Blues. Now I think this has been our first month that we've managed to remain consistent, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed all of the comments today. Loads of really good stuff. I love the fact that you're getting involved talking to each other as well. That's really cool, man. Really, really good. I absolutely love that. So, Kai, any parting words for our lovely viewers as ever?
Bunch of legends. Thank you for joining once again, and we'll see you next week. Well, hopefully, actually, the watch along first, and then we'll see you for the Friday next week.
So nice one, guys. If any of you sticking around haven't subscribed to Behind the Dugouts, that is Kai's channel. The link is in the title and the description, so go and check it out because he does really good reviews and think pieces and tactical breakdowns and stuff as well. Nice one, guys. Thank you very much all for sticking around and until the end of the stream. Score prediction for the game of Chelsea and West Ham games. Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, me and Kai both going 3-0. So thank you all very much. If any of you can just drop us a little like on the way out, that would be much appreciated. Who are Daniel's all of a sudden just as we're leaving? Who's getting a red card? No one, mate. No one. No one's getting a red card. It's going to be a clean game, mate. It's going to be a clean game. We're going to win 3-0. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Nuno's going to get a red card.
yeah, mate. Yeah. Maybe a West Ham player. Yeah, I love that. Love that. Nice one, guys. We'll catch up with you all very soon. Take it easy.